Well, at that time, it was not legal, number one.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm in
Number
California.
two,
You
number
can't
two,
under the influence
yeah,
driving.
number two, it is something that can get me in a whole lot of trouble.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
I had to get it on the record.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I had one incident. And I think it was during it would definitely have been 2019, where couple guys get in a car, and when they got out, it smelled like I had been driving Elon Musk and Joe Rogan around. And they had smoked the car out, okay? Which they hadn't, they just had a lot of that sticky on them, okay? And the smell does not bother me, and so I didn't think anything of it.
But
I
it might
dropped
bother
them-
your next passenger.
I dropped them off at this place at District 5 where I had a passenger already waiting for me. They get out, she gets in, and this is, a pickup bar. And this woman's like maybe 23, 25 or so. And you would think that she would be a little bit more chill. No, she goes, there is no way I'm riding with a fucking stoner. She gets out, cancels the ride. It's like, okay, whatever. And I don't think anything of it until 3 rides later, in the middle of the ride, I get an alert that my account has been put on suspension. And I got suspended for 3 days as per Department of Transportation regulations when there's an allegation like that, so they can investigate.
Right.
What'd they do? Ask you if you were stoned?
They didn't ask me anything. I sent them a link to the dash cam video.
Yeah.
And 3 days later, I'm off suspension.
Yeah, it's like here's the video of me for the 2 hours prior to when she says I was high.
Not smoking in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
So now I see why you reported that guy. But is it legal now in your
it's
area?
sort of legal.
But probably not like while you're driving. Isn't that kind of like
no. First off, as pro marijuana as I am, it's like I am crystal clear on the concept that that does not make me a better driver. Okay. I would not, it's like I would be scared to attempt that because I know what it does to my reaction time and my focus. And it doesn't enhance either one.
I'll be honest, I don't know how people, like, having experienced a little bit of that this summer, I don't know how people who are high all the time get anything done. Like I partook while I was in Vegas, and man, I was granted it's my first time, but I was high for 36 hours, man. I was like, how do you even function like this? Like what the hell? How do you get anything done?
Yeah, I mean, I actually get productive, but that's probably because of strains I'm choosing and how I'm using it, and kind of how.
And you probably weren't very productive your first time.
No, I was. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. But I carry this little spray bottle with this essential oil in it.
Yeah.
That I use to cover up all kinds of different passenger smells when they get out. And just a cheap $5 bottle of citrus essential oils from Walmart. No magical powers, but nobody thinks that I'm stoned.
You don't know there's no magical powers.
I don't know about anybody else, but I was having withdrawal symptoms not having had this meeting last week.
Yeah.
First step is
I was just happy I wasn't late.
I was okay with not the Christmas one, but the other ones I was like, ugh. I even went to some I don't know why that happened.
I don't know. Went to some what?
Yeah, the echo wasn't me. Somebody posted on some other group that they were going to have a meetup about hypnosis, and so I signed in, and I was the only other person there, and it was really just her doing her little YouTube spiel about the new year. And I ended up like walking away and just letting my computer do its thing. I was like, okay, that was not interactive at all. Thank you. Interactive at all.
Now,
Thank you.
I
Somebody's
popped
got
on
to
I popped on Jim's deal with Bob on Friday. That was pretty fun. Bob.
oh yeah, I didn't sign into it, but how was it?
It was good. As I thought it was one of the best ones that I've seen be done on Jim's show. I was
Nice.
on
What is
there.
this? What is this?
So
Jim?
Jim Kellner does a hypnosis through the screen live broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. And
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
can-
if he does it on any other platforms, but I know it's on those two.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Most Friday nights. If he's got a show, he doesn't do it. So I'd say 3/4 of the Friday nights he's doing one. And he'd invited Bob on to talk about conversational hypnosis.
Mhm.
And so I popped on there too and pushed the demo side so that Bob could do some Bob the Rebuildering with Jim over pineapple pizza. It was good. It was very comical. The whole thing was very comical.
So did he successfully get him to
Time will tell, but he was making progress, and Jim's like, no, we're not going here.
You know,
It was great.
I don't eat pizza, but when I did eat pizza, I like pineapple on pizza.
I don't mind
Definitely
pineapple on pizza, but
sacrilegious.
it's
Wouldn't
not
work
the
with me.
topping I'm going for. Like if it's what's there, I'll eat it. Or if it's a buffet, I might get a
Pepperoni,
slice. Oh yeah,
Pepperoni,
pepperoni.
jalapenos, and pineapple.
Oh,
So
I've
here's
never
the
tried
thing.
that.
There's actually some food science behind pineapple pizza.
And why people don't like it?
No,
Okay.
it is a great pairing because whether you're going with pepperoni or Canadian bacon being the most
That's
traditional,
the traditional, yeah.
the pairing of the sweet, the citrus, tart, and the salty works.
Yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of foods we eat that have those pairings.
Yeah.
And so it works. It makes sense. Now,
I actually had a job before I was a hypnotist, guys. I mean, like for real. And it was at a pizza place.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Pepperoni, mushrooms, and olives. That's my number one. But yes, I agree with you, Colin. The sweet tart with the salty, savory.
Mhm. Yeah.
We in I think Betty Crocker's cookbook, there is a sweet and sour meatball recipe
See, that's the one I don't like. I don't like sweet.
that you mixed grape jelly with hot sauce, and
Or
it
barbecue
sounds
sauce.
horrendous, but it was so good.
Was good. Yeah.
It was just so delicious. So and I hate pineapple, so that's it. That's
So who
just
cares, right?
a stop for me. You know,
Oh, you hate
pizza.
pineapple.
I
Ah.
hate pineapple. I don't like pineapple.
So you could be friends with Jim Kellner. You
I
could say,
like
"I
no.
agree."
Jim likes pineapple. He likes pineapple.
But
He
you
likes
could say,
pizza.
I agree.
just-
Pineapple doesn't belong on
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
Well, I worked last night too, so
I had a gig last night. It was actually it was the last 2 weeks was the week before Christmas. I was jam packed. A lot of Hanukkah shows.
wasn't it crazy this year?
Excuse me.
Wasn't it crazy like the last minute bookings this year?
Yes, yeah,
It's just
it
like-
was. I had this one guy who was like begging me to try and find someone for him. I don't know if he must have booked the shows and then went out to try and find someone to fill them or something. I don't
Yeah.
know because he was
I
so
worked last
desperate.
night.
You worked. Okay.
I worked last night. I didn't have any. Went over to a friend's house for an event. Just nothing spectacular. Kids wanted to do something with us for New Year's, so that's the route we took this year. But
Some hypnosis.
before that, I was in a programming group. They were doing like a New Year's Eve hangout for the programming mastermind that I'm in. And that was kind of fun. We played around with Chat GPT a bunch, just fucking around, seeing what we could do.
Programming is in computer programming?
Yeah, as in computer programming.
Oh.
Yeah.
A
Cool.
lot of hypnotists, very successful ones, are into programming they first, and then they come to hypnosis.
What's
That's
it?
interesting because I have a bachelor's in computer science.
What was that, Colin?
What is Chat GPT?
You don't know what Chat GPT is? Oh, you're fixing to go down a
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
I
So-
even know. I don't have any idea how to use it. But
It's the latest offering from OpenAI. It came out about 4 weeks ago, and it can do so much stuff. You just go in there and tell it what the hell you want, and it'll just do it for you. Like, you want an essay about hypnosis, it'll just write it for you. You want a script on something, it'll just write you a script, and it's pretty damn good script. Like, I had to write 3 scripts, and I would have edited one of them a little bit. However, I tried to get it to write a hypnosis skit for a comedy hypnosis show. That was laughably horrible. Like, it did not do that at all.
was
I
hysterical.
played around with it. I played around with it to with my kids a few weeks ago. I was like, tell me a good dad joke. So it tells me this dad joke, right? And it's a dad joke all the way. And I was like, tell me another good dad joke. And it tells the exact same joke.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
like, well, that's kind of meta funny on a dad joke level, right? And then I'm like, okay, tell me another dad joke. The exact same joke, like 7 times in a row, the exact same joke. Which
Try asking
it
it
just
to
got
tell
funnier
you,
and funnier.
tell you a different dad joke.
Oh, and we did that, the different dad joke. We finally did get it to tell us one different. But yeah, it was hilarious, man. The kids were just dying because the dad joke was always the same, and that itself, that was a
That's
meta
funny.
dad joke.
you know what?
Yeah.
It must have come from its database.
Oh God, that'd have been a good dad joke.
My kids gave
This
me
is all
a
I have in
t-shirt.
my
I keep
database.
all my dad jokes in a database. Yeah, they
Oh
gave
my
me a
God, that's
t-shirt
great.
for Father's Day.
That's
read-
great.
I read the hypnosis show script
That
Alan
I've yeah.
while we were driving, and he was just laughing
Oh,
hysterically.
it was hilarious. Its attempt at a hypnosis skit for a comedy show was it was laughable. That's all there
It
is
was
to it.
taking like some traditional hypnosis skits and then throwing clinical hypnosis words into it. And
Oh, yeah, it was really weird. But as far as writing a basic script, it did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
I've
I mean, I
had
don't
it.
think it understands humor yet.
I've had it write me thousands of affirmations that I'm planning on using on my YouTube channel. And I've been running it with these, right? My prompt is essentially write me an NLP suggestion, an NLP based suggestion with using the format. What's it like when blank? Write me 50 of them, and it'll just spit out 50 of them. Like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
We're gonna be useless pretty soon, except for stage hypnotists, because it has
Well, except for those of us who know how to use Chat GPT.
well, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna make us useless.
Software program.
It is
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean it's a software program?
I mean, is it
Yeah.
like something you download to your computer?
No,
Is
it's a cloud-based thing.
Yeah.
It's a language learning model. And it's been trained on essentially the internet up to 2020
Mhm.
or 2021. And OpenAI is the AI project that Elon Musk helped found.
So is it free?
It's where DALL-E comes from. Yeah, it's free. Right now, it's free during the
Yeah.
beta test. You can just type in Chat GPT and you'll probably find it in the first link or two.
Mhm.
So the platform went from 0 to 1 million users in 5 days.
Yeah.
Okay, which is faster than any platform has ever gone from 0 to 1 million users before. Hey, James, we were just talking about Chat GPT. I know you know what it is.
Oh yeah, I've been playing
I've
with
been-
it a little bit more. Not as much as you, but I
Yeah,
like it a lot.
I've been using it like crazy. You can just have it write programs for you too. So I write programs in a language called AutoHotkey, and I just told it what I wanted to happen, and it just spits out the code for it, right?
That's amazing.
And then like I know the language, so I can tell what's wrong with it because it's not quite perfect at that yet. It's way better at Python or Java or any of the major languages. It's way better at writing code in those because again, it was trained on the internet. So there's a lot more stuff out there on how to write in those codes. But yeah, it's blowing my mind what it's capable of.
Yeah, Marshall Silver used it and wrote like a thing about him, about how he's so cool.
Yeah. I used it to write a story. I've used it to write a few little short stories. One, my his best friend came up from Houston and decided, now granted, you have to understand my brother's 24 and stupid still. So he decided he was going to go shot for shot with my brother. And my brother's also probably an alcoholic in the making for sure. Definitely a serious recreational drinker. So after he spectacularly lost that effort, I had it write a story about the hero Pukella and how he, because the guy's name is Naniela, the hero Pukella and how he was defeated by the other warrior in a drinking contest. It was quite funny. Everybody got a kick out of it at Christmas.
All right, I just signed up for it. Trying to be more proactive this year.
Yeah, you got to, man, especially with this, you got to be proactive. So I'm currently I'm planning out going through and having it rewrite the descriptions for all my products in my store because it's really good at writing product descriptions and SEOing them and making them it's really excellent at writing product descriptions because if you think about it, how many product descriptions has it been trained on?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I was going to use it to create a couple different coaching programs. Think about the resources to pull in. I want a 6-step course for this or a 12-step course for that.
Oh man, it don't even play around with that. It is so good at writing instructions.
The light bulbs go
Let's
on there.
see if it can write my topic for HT Live.
Yeah.
That'll be
Why not?
interesting.
Guarantee you it can.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I signed up for it too. I can't quite figure out how you go in and do everything yet, but I'm sure I'll sort it out.
Yeah. So just because if you just signed up for OpenAI, there's a whole bunch of different stuff you can do.
Yeah.
But Chat GPT it's kind of a conversational framework, and you can just have it do all kinds of stuff.
Well, and that's the thing that's interesting. So it's using the chat metaphor. So you give it a prompt, it gives you results, but it starts on the left-hand side of the screen. It starts a chat. And then if you ask it follow-on questions, it just expands the chat. So it's very interesting. Because at first I was like copying and pasting everything it gave me. And then I realized later on you could just look at the chats you've had previously. So you can kind of pick something up again, which is interesting.
Can y'all see my screen there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Chat GPT.
Yeah, I got into it.
Yeah, somebody come up with something I can ask here. Give me an idea, Bob.
6 steps for reducing anxiety.
Sure. There you go.
There you go. May occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. Occasionally produce harmful instruction or biased content. What is the echo? Who's got two components?
Not me.
Going? Somebody's got a speaker system going. That's
No, not me.
definitely not me.
No, I'm through my earphones tonight, so.
I'm using my earphones, so I think it's not me.
No, it was happening before you came on, James. So you.
Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Jeez, oh whiz.
No,
sometimes it's
scary.
repetitive and the writing is good but not great, but you could easily take it into Word or Grammarly and tweak it and give it
tweak
your
it
own
and
flavor.
add and
Yeah.
Now,
What
if
I would
you-
also
if
do
you
is I would
enter-
Here's
ask,
another trick. Sorry, you can tell it now, Scott, to just say expand on bullet point number 1, and it'll just start adding more.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What I'd also like it to do then is pull in specific examples of,
Well, you can ask it to
and
use
quotes
references.
from major authors or something like that.
Yeah, you can tell it to use I haven't done that much.
Can
but
you
can
write
say-
a book with this thing?
You
Why not?
could.
Yes, people already
you would-
have. People already
Yeah.
have.
You would have to, I mean, to make it a good book, you would have to have good questions that you ask it and then tweak them and then have it expand, but you could have it write references and bibliographies and things too. I haven't tried that yet, but I've seen other people
Yeah, so-
posting about it.
So I know at least 2 different people who are using this and DALL-E to write children's books.
Yeah.
I
You know,
I've heard
in
about that, but I
at
haven't seen them
rapid
yet.
speed.
Who is it whose friend writes those fractured fairy tales?
I don't know.
I think
Anyways,
it's
what were you
Colin's
saying,
friend.
Colin? What were you saying,
I
Colin?
just asked it to write a stand-up comedy routine about COVID.
Yeah.
Almost instantly generated a solid 6-minute set.
Wow.
Oh my
Right.
God.
The only thing I would be
Okay,
worried
see,
about
I'm-
that is I wonder if it's pulling from other comics.
Okay,
Of course
so
it
you
is.
can run it through like plagiarism stuff, but yeah, it's pulling from other things, just like the art.
Same
You know,
with
Well, you
Colleen,
could just
yeah.
rewrite. You could rewrite them, and this is what I told my wife because she had to write some blogs for work, and so I had her. I gave her a prompt, and then I said, okay, 6 steps to do this or that, and then, the first one was moisturizing because she's in skincare.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, have it expand on point number 1, and then it wrote like 4 or 5 paragraphs on point number 1. You could just do that, in 20 minutes, you could write a pretty decent blog article.
Yeah, what's going to happen with colleges?
Well, there's a program that there's like an AI detector, and I don't know how it does it, but you can paste text into the AI detector, and then it'll tell you it's 99% likely that this was written with AI. So,
Wow.
but there's another program you could take it into called Quillbot, which rephrases things, and then it's like if you do 2
Well, that's-
passes, you can't tell it's AI.
Not how you spell leprosy. So
Oh, I know, but I knew it would know. Like you don't have to worry about spelling; it understands what the hell you mean. Like it understood it enough to say, "I can't do that."
that's true.
Uh,
And it said specific conditions. So yeah. As a medical.
let's
condition.
do this. Let's see if it'll
Hey.
do this. No. There's things it won't do. It won't tell you to do.
Okay,
It
well,
won't
they
write
used to think
erotica.
that you could beat it out of them. So glad to know that it doesn't think that it's something that should be fixed.
Right.
If it doesn't think it should be fixed, there's something wrong with it.
I would.
Yeah,
There's an
But
old- there's an
whoever
old-
programmed it, there is some biases in it. You can tell by certain questions that you ask it.
Oh, shoot.
It's either the programming or the source material has biases, but it's a great place to start.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
Usually when it's doing scripts, it doesn't do them bullet pointed like this.
Well, oh,
It might be because you continued in the same chat, or
Yeah, it may be because it doesn't. It remembers what you've told it before. So I was using it to write some processing script, which is a language that's used to make generative art, and I just told it I wanted to make a spiral graphic, and like it just did it all. Like it wrote the whole thing for me. I copied it into the program and it ran it and it gave me an error, and I came back and I put the error in there. I'm like, that code gave me this error, and it was like, oh, here, this is the fix, So,
wow.
but yeah, I would definitely suggest you all get up on it, learn about it. It does, like I said, it does really good with product descriptions.
Yeah, it can write sales letters, and you can tell it like write in the style of, and give it a person's name, and it may help
Like,
change how it writes.
Like Joe Shugman. I mean, if you're going to write a sales letter, right?
Yeah, I haven't tried any sales letters, but I'm sure you could tell it. I had it write something in the style of Milton Erickson,
mm.
and it wasn't great, but it was a good start.
Yeah, just one of the many adventures I've been on over the holiday season here.
Thank you, Scott. That's great.
Yep.
You could also use it for brainstorming. So you could say,
Oh, it's
give me
great for
7
brainstorming.
viral video topics or 7 viral
Yeah.
video titles, you know,
Yeah.
or 15 or whatever.
Yeah, and that was why I asked it to write a stand-up routine.
Yeah.
Is like, see, I can see, it's like the way I would use this to create material for a hypnosis show is by using it to create different ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
And-
have it write you a hypnosis show.
No, it's like
It's terrible.
it's like, yeah, that's the last thing I'm gonna do. But no, it's like this is great for provoking thought and just stirring shit up.
Yeah, what's funny is so you can ask it to write you a joke. And then you can ask it to explain why that joke is funny.
Oh. That's
And
interesting.
sometimes it can kind of give you an idea, but most of the time it's like, I don't actually understand humor is essentially what it tells you. Like, I don't actually understand humor.
I don't know. You
But
tell me.
you know what? It ought to be able to tell you why the joke is funny, because there are
So-
only so many
Yeah.
reasons why a joke is funny.
Right. And so, yeah, like I said, sometimes it does tell you that, but it basically tells you the structure it used to write the joke, like this joke is a play on words. This joke is, these different things. But it doesn't really, like, you can tell it doesn't really understand what the hell it's talking about. Like, it doesn't have true understanding,
Thank
Oh.
God, because then
Right.
it's Skynet.
So Chat GPT represents the intellectual side of AI, but there's no wisdom to AI yet. Like,
Yet.
like my favorite quote, knowing Frankenstein is the monster is intelligence. Or knowing Frankenstein isn't the monster is intelligence. Knowing Frankenstein is the monster is wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
So
That's
Bob,
Frankenstein.
But it's knowing that the monster isn't Frankenstein and knowing that Frankenstein is the monster,
Yeah.
I think is a little clearer on that. But yeah, same concept.
yeah. And Bob, speaking of Elon, I am absolutely loving the Tesla to death. It has kept me out of 2 accidents already.
Wow,
Nice.
you got one?
Cool.
So there is a program that Uber has had with Hertz for a while where they rent drivers' cars, and they would reach out to me. I say, not interested, already have a good car for doing Uber. And then a couple of weeks ago, they reach out and it's like, well, what if we rented you a Tesla at this special rate? I'm like, and I fill out the paperwork and they don't have any available. And so I was like, I told Bob about this. That's like, I almost got a Tesla yesterday and they didn't have any. And I told him what was going on. And then like the next day, just for kicks, I put the thing in again. It's like, and it went through. And so I picked it up a week ago last Monday. And
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, it did the same for me.
Save some money on the gas for sure.
The other day, I almost hit a car and it stopped me.
yeah.
You're right, Lisa. I'm getting
It's a
feedback too.
Zoom. It's a Zoom thing. Something's up with Zoom. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've had this in other meetings.
I have too, but it usually means that someone's using an outside speaker or an outside
No,
mic.
it's not
Yeah,
that.
but
It doesn't.
Zoom
I
is supposed
just
to be able to handle
updated,
that.
Zoom just updated itself for me
Yeah,
right
yeah, me
before
too.
this.
You know what? It might be because I've started doing the cloud recording instead of recording it directly to my computer. That might be affecting it. And I've started doing that because that way we can have the gallery format on the video, because I think that's more useful for a lot of the things that we do.
Oh, you know what, Scott? Speaking of that, how did you said to look up that when I did the Manson episode?
Yeah,
How-
the date.
how
Because you were
do I-
wanting
How
the
do
video.
I look that up? I don't know.
I mean, just go into your search history on your browser. Surely you know how, do you know how to search your history on your browser? Okay, so see, I have this other idea for a YouTube channel. This channel came out during the pandemic called Son, How Do I? Or Dad, How
Uh-huh.
Do I? And it's a dad teaching kids like how to light the water heater, how to light the pilot in an oven, how to plant a tree, etc. I had an idea for another one called Son, How Do I? Where somebody teaches old people how to do stuff. So this will be the first episode. Do you use Chrome?
Yes.
Okay, so over there in the top right-hand corner, you'll find your face.
Okay, I see it. I do.
And you should be able to click on your face, and there should be a menu that opens up that says history. Let me make sure that's right. No, it's not
No.
your face. So beside your face, there'll be the kebab, the 3 little dots.
Yes,
Okay,
Oh,
click on the
history. I
3
see
little
it.
dots. You see history,
I
and then
do.
click on history right there. And then that should open up history, and you should have a deal that
PSA, you
says
can delete
search
things from your
journeys.
history if you're not comfortable with what's in there.
There's only like 10 things on mine, so
Right.
that doesn't help.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
there's, I
and you
I
should be
don't
able to,
erase anything on mine.
yeah, you should be able
Well,
to
I didn't
search
either, but-
journeys, and then just
Well-
type in Manson, or if you can remember like what the video was called. But if you just type in Manson, I'm assuming you don't search for Manson all the time, right?
No,
So
no.
this was a video doing an
Well,
interview with Charlie.
Yeah, we looked at it in the hustle. We all went over it, and he was wanting that hustle where we did that, and I was like, well, like look in your search history and see when you showed us that video. Then
Mm.
that way I can that way I don't have to go through
And I
100.
can tell you the day of the
Exactly.
well, I wasn't there, so if that helps.
So anyways, I thought that a YouTube channel called Son How Do I, where someone just shows all the things that old people don't know how to do with tech, and I'm like, there's a million subscriber channel right there.
So I'm
Pretty
looking
much,
at-
because
Dad, how do I?
That's what I was talking about. That's where I got the idea.
Yeah.
Right. I was
Oh.
talking about the channel Dad How Do I, and how
Oh.
it exploded during the pandemic. And I was like, somebody needs to make a channel called Son How Do I. You
there
know?
was like teaching people how to change a tire, how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
People that maybe didn't have a dad.
And Bob, a completely empty browser history says far more than when filled.
Mine should be filled, and it only
is
had
something
10
like
things.
I have one of those on my iPad. Yes.
And
Sometimes all it
that's what I
shows.
got from my son, who brought that from one of the forensics techs at
Are you, Lisa, are you actually clicking on history, or are you just looking at the drop down?
No, I did what he said. And it's
Yeah,
only
one-
got like 6 or 7 things. So
Right.
what
So
happened?
at the top of that list that you see, it'll say history.
Oh, okay. Let me
Click
try
on that.
again.
Click on
brings
that
up
and
your
it'll bring up
entire
all
history.
your. Yeah, you were only looking at your recents.
Okay, go to history. The thing that
Yeah.
says Command Y.
It should be
you're on a
Control
Mac.
H
No, it's
Oh,
just on
you're
a
on a-
Mac.
on a Mac.
But yeah, it says history, and then it'll say like Command Y, I guess. But if you just click that, it'll bring up
Let's
your
see
whole
how far
list.
back it goes.
Oh, it goes back to the beginning.
The beginning
Unless
of
you've
time.
cleared it out.
The beginning of you having a
Yeah.
Google account.
I clear my history out all the time just in case there's an infected cookie or something else that
Yeah,
Just to show up.
that's why,
Yeah.
Sean. That's why. I used to have my history clear automatically, but it got to the point where it's like, no, I just need too much stuff that's in my history. So if you go into my
Is
history,
there a way to clear some of
as
this
Yoda
out?
as Yoda says, if into the security files you go, only pain will you find. Like whatever you find in there is your responsibility, not mine. I didn't tell you to go looking.
Is there some way to clear just certain things?
Yes.
Yeah, you can just click
things
on
and delete.
anything and delete it.
So
There-
I
And
can
you
click
can-
a bunch
you
of
can-
things
if
and then
you-
I can hit the trash can.
So does yours
Yeah.
have like a little box beside each item?
Yeah.
That's a check box. Just check
So
it
I have
and
to check that box, and then
then go
because
delete it.
the choice is clear browsing history, but I didn't know if that was going to clear
You
everything.
clear browsing
That
history or
clears
clear
everything. It also will remove
Well,
your like
no.
saved passwords.
clear browsing history only clears
it clears
like
the
the
browsing.
history
It
from this browser, right? So if your Google account is logged in across multiple things, this tracks all of them.
But how do I
Right.
delete just those few things that
Just
I-
click the little
check.
check box. Just click the little check box.
and then
Mark them up, and up at the top you should have a delete button.
got it.
Once you click one, the delete button should pop up.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Scott, it's going back to October 2022, but I don't see anything.
Well,
What
I
do you
wasn't.
mean? Oh, your
And
history's
you
going
can
back
do
to
a
October.
search.
Oh, your history's only going back to October.
Yeah.
Is that a new
I-
PC or a new
I
account?
bet that you have it set to delete anything older than 90 days.
Can you
Right.
go onto YouTube? If it was a YouTube video, you might be able to go to YouTube and go to the watched option.
Yeah, your watch history in YouTube
Yeah.
if you were signed
I don't
in.
know how big it is, but
Yeah, that's another option.
Let me try it.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
So Colin, how's life been going? You getting a bunch of shows booked up for the year?
Tonight I got a restaurant in Baltimore for the 14th of this month. I
nice.
got a dog rescue fundraiser in North Carolina for March. So yeah, lots of stuff coming together. Had a really good coaching session with a stand-up comedian by name of Jerry Corley.
Awesome.
Used to be one of the head writers for Letterman at one
Nice.
point. And he's somebody that I have a lot of respect for as a comedian. However, more as someone who trains comedians. So that's why I went with him on that. And, you know, and so I went through, I kind of laid out in written form what my show looks like, what all happens typically, and describe some of the routines. And then I provided him some videos, and we sit down over Zoom, and he's like, listen, as a touring stand-up comedian, I've seen a bunch of hypnosis shows, and I've coached 3 other comedy hypnotists. It's like, you're not doing anything like what anybody else is doing here.
That's good.
That's
It's
awesome.
like, I feel, he said, Colin, I kind of feel like you take the stuff that everybody else is doing, and you immediately redline all that stuff out. It's like, oh, you mean like hot and cold? It's like, yeah, I've never seen a show without hot and cold. It's like, here we are.
Speaking of hot and cold, I'm seriously considering four-walling a show sometime this spring, because I found a theater that I can get for $300 for the night.
Nice.
Okay.
And I'm
That's
like, you know, I don't have to do much to actually make that break even, at least, you know. Like, if I can just get some people in there, I could do a show. So I'm thinking about doing it sometime this spring. I got to call the place on Tuesday and see what's up. But
Yeah, it's a
How local is it to you?
to me, it's 100 miles. Well, no, it's an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So
Okay.
it's 75 miles. But it's situated within driving distance for Amarillo or Lubbock. So I can probably pull people from both locations. And
Okay.
I've gone to a show there before. That's how I found out about it. That's how I knew it existed.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
How
went to
big
520 seats.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. So you
So
can sell seats cheap and still make a
Yeah.
profit.
yeah. So do you have a plan for how you're going to turn people out for it?
Facebook advertising, most
Okay.
likely. Most
Okay.
likely Facebook advertising. That's just going to be the easiest way to hit the right demographic and hit them hard, you know.
Do you have somebody who can do video for you?
I don't, but that's definitely going to be done. Like I've got to get somebody who can do video, because that's the whole idea, is to get some video, you know. And so I was talking to Matt, because he was talking about coming out here in the spring sometime anyways. And I was talking to him about maybe we get it and we schedule, because we could get the theater for 12 hours. So we could do 2 shows, and then he could do one and I could do one. We could both get some stage footage.
Yeah,
know?
you could do a matinee and a adulter show.
Yeah. That's exactly what we were thinking, you know. But yeah, other than that, if I can manage it, I might see if I can get on local radio.
You can also check with either local high school or local college to see if there's like an AV department that would want to come and film it for you, because they have nicer
Hey.
equipment than you do.
That's a good idea.
And you know, they
That's
might
a
do
very
it
good idea.
for credits or for, you know, $100.
I figured I was just going to rope my son into it. He's been going to college for about 18 months now for photography and videography.
Oh, well, yeah.
So,
If he doesn't do it, he knows who would do it.
Exactly. But yeah, he's actually running to California with my brother this week because he's off of school.
What part?
I don't know. I didn't get all the details. He said he was going to California. I was like, have fun. You know, I'm guessing Southern California based on how long they're going to be gone. My brother drives a truck, so since he's off, he's taking him with him.
It's like the whole freaking state is underwater right now.
Well, good. Maybe y'all won't have so many fires this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove 3 hours to get to my show last night in the rain, and it was awful.
Oh my God.
It was just awful.
I love driving in the rain. Oh.
I got out of the car at my gig and I had an umbrella and I had it up against the car so I could reach in and grab my stuff, and lost my spiral umbrella.
That's terrible.
Well, it didn't run away. It just upside downed itself. You know?
Gotcha.
So I left it in the hotel trash can.
So did anybody other than Bob, because Bob's already talked to me about it, pay attention to the handshake and mucous membrane rub thing while you were around all your relatives and such?
What?
Were you here for that discussion, Colin?
No, I don't think so.
So I found out there's this thing that humans do, and
forgot about it.
And basically, within 3 or 4 minutes of shaking somebody's hand, you instinctually rub your eyes or your nose to transfer their
cooties
essence into you to determine whether or not they're a decent person. Basically, like that's our equivalent apparently of sniffing butts.
Butt sniffing. I vaguely recall this conversation, but we weren't around.
Right.
Yeah,
we did Chinese food for New Year's.
But yeah, no, I definitely.
You don't look.
Chinese food
Oh no, that's
for
New
holidays.
Year's. I was thinking about Christmas. I
We
was
did
going to say you
Christmas.
don't look Jewish.
No, but Alan,
Alan
we
is,
went-
yeah.
we went for Chinese food for Christmas. He said it was his first time too. It was very
Yeah, but-
bland. It was Hong Kong style, and it was very bland.
But yeah, I was definitely paying attention to it, and like it was like clockwork. I was like, wow, it's really
So is
that way.
this only with new meats, or is this every?
No, it's like every time it seems like, because I mean, all the people I met weren't new meats. I was shaking family members' hands, you know.
They were
they've
all
met
butt
me-
sniffing.
Did you catch
they've
yourself
made me-
like putting your hand up to your eye?
Yes, you do it too. Like even knowing that, like I've caught it so many times, and I'm like, oh, there it goes, and it's difficult to fight it. I mean, you can.
Well, that's why you
but-
got the face shield situation was a little bit helpful, you know.
Yeah.
So then you wouldn't touch your eyeball with your cootie hands.
Yeah, I tried to get scared of getting a cold, but it just couldn't happen.
Yeah, I didn't. It didn't happen for me either, man. But it's all right. And it didn't happen for Texas. Like we played that game for.
I mean, I didn't go hunt out a cold. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I didn't stress over it either.
I'm a typhoid Mary when it comes to COVID, so I don't
Yeah.
experience COVID, but I
Yeah.
apparently caught COVID.
Yeah, I have.
Me and my wife caught it.
I've
Looks like
had-
any other
I've-
cold.
Yeah, I've been tested twice and had basically 0 symptoms both times.
I had no symptoms.
Me too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had it twice. Both times coming back from Hypno Thoughts Live.
Hypnothoughts, yeah.
You must have hung out with Ken Guzzo.
I don't know. The
Yeah, but
first,
who
the
doesn't
first,
hang
the,
out
the
with
first
Ken?
time I don't think it was from HT Live. The second one I think it was.
Yeah,
I think
I got
did
it.
get then.
I got it at Glastonbury.
Actually, I'm glad next year's HT Live is like 2 weeks earlier. It's like July 21st or something.
23rd,
So
I think.
maybe I can get sick and still go to my grandson's birthday party.
There
Hey,
you go. You get the conference crud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just signed up for it tonight.
You just signed up? You should have
Yeah.
signed up yesterday.
No, they
No,
haven't
it
had
was
me change
tonight.
it yet.
Didn't
Ah,
change that.
Yeah.
I happened to see that it was going up tonight. I had like
Ah.
1 hour left. So
ah.
that's
I'll
why.
be honest with you. You have more than 1 hour left because
I'm sure.
You're
their
busy.
basic thing, Stephanie's basic thing was, I don't want to deal with it until Monday. So if somebody happens to to get the link, and they happen to go and they get it for $100 less because it was the second. Oh well. So I was like, all right, I'll change it as soon as you get me the link. You know.
You tell me.
They still don't have the before or after sessions.
No,
though.
they're going to go through everything and get the pre and post figured out next week.
Oh,
Is
well.
what they've said. So
They're
I
100
had no idea how much effort goes into figuring out who's going to be where and all that. And
Oh, I
The
do.
scheduling
is huge.
yeah, scheduling is way
So-
more
my
involved than
God.
I thought.
Yeah.
It's
Even just at a fair when we're trying to run the stage, it's like insane.
No.
And that's just
The-
one.
Is the food credit, is that, how do you get that? Is that you?
It's going to be on your room.
You have to be
Oh.
registered at the hotel.
It's going
But
to be
you
on
have
your
to
room.
use the HT Live link, not the Sahara
Yeah.
Club
Yeah.
code.
And it's only for the first, I think 700 or 750.
Mm.
really,
Once,
roomie-
yeah, once I know exactly
boy.
what I want to attend for pre and post, then I'll get the hotel booked.
I need to
or
book my
flight
hotel
tickets,
then.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get your tickets early, if you get your tickets today, basically, and you get you're one of the first 700 people, then
Oh, well,
you're
the
basically
first
getting
700 people to
$200
have your
off.
ticket.
No, first 700 to get your hotel booked, right?
Okay.
So the first 700 rooms or whatever, I don't remember if it's 700 or 750. But the first block there that gets their rooms booked are supposed to get the $100 credit on their room.
Okay.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that different from the food credit or?
No,
No, that's
that's
the
the
food
food credit. That's what I'm talking about is the food credit. And if
what
I
about,
understand
did you say 100 or 200?
100
one,
100,
well, my
So it's like-
understanding,
per
my under-
person.
yeah, it's per person. So my understanding is that like if a husband and wife are both going, you'll get $200 worth of food voucher.
To the
Oh, okay.
conference. You can't
the
just bring your
conference, yeah.
wife and then feed
Yeah,
her.
yeah, to the conference. Yeah.
Right.
But so it's like, instead of the lunch, he's giving us
Right.
$30 to feed ourselves.
Right. Which isn't terrible.
Depending upon the prices at some hotels, that's not gonna, it's not gonna feed you too much.
Yeah, it's not. You're getting probably 2 meals out of that at best, probably.
Maybe.
Depends on how much you drink with your meals, or if drinking
Well, it
just is
depends.
your meals.
It just depends also if the place has a happy hour or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because we got a chance to sit with different people
Yeah, that's,
and you really get to connect with people that you normally wouldn't connect.
Yeah.
And there's an open invitation. You don't have to worry about the bill and how you're going to split it and,
Right.
all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
I'll
So
miss
it's a,
that. And they may go back to it. Who knows? Depends on
Yeah.
the facility. A lot of it is dependent upon the facility. I'm pretty sure their catering is even more than the ridiculous catering at Orleans.
Yeah.
Bob's testing our rapport now.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's a report test.
nicely
who-
said.
Who does anybody have any great and magnificent plans for their new year? Like you got your great business resolutions. You're going to revolutionize anything this year? Anybody?
I'm doing mailings for my magic side that I haven't done in like 2 years.
Awesome.
Because people are actually having summer camps and libraries and things like that this summer. So,
That's
So it's
great.
a proven
I-
list,
I-
though, right?
excuse me?
Right.
It's a proven list,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
not a cold list.
yeah, no. And so I'm a little late, but everyone's late. So,
Yeah. Oh, we got bookings 2 days out this year. Like,
mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. And had
Yeah.
to get a flight for it.
That's really crazy. I saw Alan posting about that. I'm like, whoa, $2,100 for tickets. It's like, yeah, we're not doing your show.
Yeah, pretty much. That was like he was already asleep, and I got this text message from the booker saying the price went up from like $250 to $2,100. I was like, sorry, you got to wake up. You
Yeah.
need to deal with
No,
this.
that's not gonna do.
'Cause I'm the night owl. I'm like,
It's almost like flying in Canada, that price.
my friends got they came back from Jamaica and they got stuck with everybody in Toronto. Is that where everybody was stuck?
Pearson Airport, yeah. I actually saw a picture of all the luggage that's sitting around the luggage carousel.
Yeah. So they were stuck there for 5 days and then they
Oh
sent
my
them to Phoenix, and that's where Alan happened to be going for that crazy show. So
What about you, Colin? You got any plans that you can reveal for the new year?
You can reveal.
You know, it's just continuing to drive on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, what you're doing seems to be working, so
yeah,
it's probably a good plan.
I have a crazy reveal.
What's that?
We booked a 10-day fare for boot camp.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And
Oh,
didn't you say that it's somewhere else? It's not in Washington?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
That
in
that reminds me of
Dakota.
something. I'll get to it.
Didn't
in
you
North
say it's
Dakota.
sold out already?
No,
No.
we haven't officially announced it.
Oh,
Yeah.
where was I?
We're figuring out the logistics of it.
That's cool. So that basically means you could do 2 boot camps, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
2 boot camps and they're back to back, so that kind of reduces your expense for one. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, of moving the trailer. and
Yeah.
all that. Oh my God.
Wow.
oh, man.
Who is this?
That's his airport where everybody was stuck
Oh wow.
in Canada because they were snowed in
Jeez.
basically.
Yeah, but when are Canadians not snowed in? We can't hear you,
I
Sean.
I don't recognize that as part of Pearson.
That's only one
Oh,
side of
'cause-
the carousel. They had an aerial shot that I saw that had both sides that were all decked out just like that.
Wow.
Oh, it's insane.
Jeez, oh whiz.
Oh God. Crazy.
Man.
Crazy.
What about you, James? You writing some courses this year?
Definitely writing a course. And I just got my logo done. I'm just actually looking for the file, but I got my logo done. I got quite a bit of feedback from some of the people on the call here. And so I got logo done. I just need to build the website now.
Yeah.
So I got
And
logo
then
done.
I'll
Hang the courses off of that.
What kind of course is it, James?
The first one's going to be hypnotic course design. So how to plan out and build a course. So I've taught that twice, once at Hypno Thoughts live, and then once at the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference.
And that's basically your day job, right?
Yeah, that's my day job.
Doing course design. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's
Lot
it's
of
easy
experience.
and fun.
Hey,
I would
and
also like to build a course on self-hypnosis, but that will require more research.
heck yeah.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I guess I'll just call the shot now. Before the end of the year, I'd love to publish a book on Kindle and use Chat GPT for some of it.
Mm,
Oh, absolutely.
plan.
Get it. What about you, Joe? What are you got any great illustrious plans for 2023?
Well, I don't know about plans per se, but I did manage to get a website going. It's
Nice.
crude, still learning WordPress. So it doesn't look super impressive, but it's something somebody could actually land on, and business cards that point to it, and an electronic business card to go with it
Awesome.
that I just use a link.
Awesome.
Let's show you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not
Love to see
here.
it.
That's for the business card right there.
Oh, yeah.
We
share
can't,
your
we
Hang
can't
on.
see it.
Yeah, I got to remember ways to hit enter because people can't see
He
nothing.
just
so I
put
hit
it in
enter.
the
Oh, okay.
chat.
I thought you were going to share it. That's cool. I thought you were
Oh.
talking about sharing your screen.
Oh, I was throwing the chat right there.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Anyway, but that goes to my website. Like I said, it's not a great one yet, but I'll be updating and upgrading as I learn how to make the site.
Damn.
It's a lot further ahead than I was before.
So where
So-
did the name Inda Ministry come from?
Oh, interfaith,
Interfaith
non-denominational.
non-denominational abundance ministry.
That's right.
I was reading it off the side. I was cheating.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
What side? I don't see it.
So that business card he just sent you, it has a spot there that says website. Click it.
Yeah.
And
Ah.
forth you will go onto the interwebs.
On to 4.
Yes.
Mhm.
Anyway, but like I said, it's kind of crude right now, but I got a lot of work to do on it still. But from
And hey,
starting from zero,
that's
that's
step one. All cults have to start somewhere. So
Mhm.
that's not going to be a very good cult because I just amplify whatever somebody else is believing. That's all I do.
that sounds like a great cult to me.
Well, no, because I'm not converting them to anything,
I
just to
know.
whatever they're already at.
Yeah.
If
Hello,
they're
world. Welcome to WordPress. This is your first post.
Yeah,
Edit.
you're actually converting them to paying customers.
Yeah, there you go. Convert them into paying customers.
well, there you go. But no, anyway, like I say, if they're Baptists, I just amplify that. If they're Mormons, I amplify that.
What if they're
Just
pagan
whatever.
or Jewish or
Same thing.
Hindu?
Same
What if,
thing.
what if they're Satanists?
Amplify. If that's what they want, that's their business, not mine.
All right, good
I
deal.
draw the line at wanting to chop my head off. If you want to,
Yeah.
if your religion wants to chop my head off, we're not going to amplify that.
Yeah, I got you.
But other than that, we're good.
Awesome.
James,
I like
on
it.
your logo,
Yep.
is
What's
it
that?
going to have this gray background?
No, this is the only one I could find. This is actually when my computer was in dark mode, this is what it looked like.
Hmm.
So it's going to have it's typically a white background. So the colors look a little different.
A little
but
pop, a little more pop.
yeah, a lot more pop, but the colors are teal and kind of a maroon purple.
Yeah,
I can't find
PNG
the-
probably has a transparent background.
Yeah, it's going to have transparent.
I saw some people
Transparent background,
using
I thought so.
Dolly and one of the other ones, Dawn AI, I think, to do logo designs.
There's a couple websites that do it, and that's what mine started with.
Oh, there you are.
There's one
Nice.
called logo.com, and there's a couple of them, but it wasn't very good. And then this one, I just told the guy to make sort of like a stylized version of an alpha wave.
Yeah.
And this is what we came up with.
I like it, and I'm just going to ignore the potato smasher vibes.
There is definitely a little bit of that. Yeah.
But no, I do like it. I think it looks really good. And I watched you go through the process of revising it and tweaking it and moving stuff over a little bit and everybody liking it. And I really like the whole crowdsourcing.
Yeah, it was fun. And I need
everything.
to make another post where I show all of them, but it's fun
like
because I have like the first few and then the final thing. So
I like that logo, Sean. I like
Yeah.
that.
That's sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
I also had professional pictures taken. So
Oh,
somebody tried
awesome.
to make me look good. Can you believe it?
I can believe it. I
Did
can
they
believe it.
make you dance?
So what are your
Dance? No. You're the only one that made me dance, Lisa.
what are your 2023 aspirations, intentions, goals, plans, whatever you want to call
Well,
it?
I've been told I already have a show booked for an Elks Club in November. So I'd
I like that
something
logo.
long before that, but my friend, the magician, who comes from that town, and actually I used to live in that town too, well, almost 30 years ago now, but more than that, 40 years ago. Jeez, I think I'm getting old.
A hypnosis show?
Anyway, so the Elks Club there had him in. His show wasn't sold out, so he went to the school, did a show for the school, and then went to the local radio station. And by the time the end of the day was, they had, not only did they have the show sold out, there were people that were mad that there weren't any more tickets. So he said, I'm coming back next year and I'm bringing a friend. So
Awesome.
Very nice. So
Awesome.
what's your stage hypnosis experience so far?
needs to be unboxed and polished a little bit. It's been a long time.
So you've
Like
done a show before?
back in university, I did a little show for friends and whatnot. So
Very cool.
and I actually had to pass on one in December. I had a bid in for a show in our capital city, and for a club, it would have been about 100 people. It would have been just a nice start to unbox everything again, and couldn't make the scheduling work. So, but it'll come together. Not a problem.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Are you near Calgary?
If I was to drive to Calgary, I would be there in about 12 hours.
Okay, then no.
Wow.
Geographically challenged in America. Don't expect me to know another country.
But I do, that really hits my Texas roots, how you describe distance in hours.
Well,
Yeah.
in Saskatchewan, it's really easy to do that. It's 3.5 hours. So for those of you that didn't read the Facebook post, I was on the road all day today. So my son informed me last night, "Oh, Dad, I really need a ride back to my place in Saskatoon so I can keep going, to the school that he's going to. But first you have to come all the way to Manitoba and pick me up." Well, that's a 45-minute ride there and a 45-minute ride back, and then a 3.5-hour ride to Saskatoon, which is where I dropped him off, and then the 3.5-hour ride back, and I made it only 15 minutes late. So,
man, I hear you say these words, and it's just like, man, it seems like you're making these up.
no,
Like,
hey, I live in Saskatchewan. my
You
buddy.
live in
I know.
Yellow. You live in Yellow, Texas.
I know that, but it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense.
So unless your name is Jim Kellner, in which case I live in hell. But
Frozen over.
Opposite of hell.
What about you, David?
Opposite of hell.
What about you, David? What are your illustrious plans for increasing your portfolio this year?
I think doing more Facebook and Google ads. As a matter of fact, I added stress relief to the
Google,
to my Google search criteria, and I'm also going to be adding Manhattan to my area, and
that ought to pick up some more volume.
Yeah. So I honestly have been so busy with the magic shows, that I really have not pursued the clinical side as much as I might have.
Awesome.
So
How did you make out with your girl?
which one?
I think he's talking about the one with the anorgasmia issues.
She was very pleased. I haven't really followed up with her since. Yeah, it's a turn of a phrase, right?
Yeah.
Turn of a phrase.
Said
No,
pleased,
she
not pleasured, pleased.
yeah.
There is a
I think
difference.
she was she was happy with what I did for her. Again, I need to follow up with her. That's true. I need to see exactly how she's doing.
Ghost her.
We definitely excuse me.
Did you ghost her?
No, I didn't ghost her.
Teased her, then ghosted her.
Story of her life.
Or Scott's shaking his head.
I had one prospect that I wasn't really sure. He ended up not calling me back anyway, but a guy. Oh, now I'm hearing myself two times.
Yeah.
A guy who is incontinent. He has some physical issues, and he basically wears a diaper like 24/7 because he can't control himself. But he wanted me to help him sleep through the night without getting up. Like he wanted to be free enough to let himself go at night in his diaper.
Scott's got you for that. Scott's got a bedwetting script that's perfect for.
Does he now?
Yeah, I did.
He's going to ask, Chat GDS for.
No, I actually wrote that one before Chat GPT. I don't know if Chat could have handled that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, no, I had someone ask me for a custom recording last year to encourage them to wet themselves. That was what they wanted. So
Mhm.
I think that's easily customizable to sleep through the night because you're wearing a diaper. Like,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I
sure.
mean,
But
I
think
told
you
him
can
I
probably
could
handle
help him. But believe it or not, I think he wanted someone live. He didn't want the Zoom thing. As soon as I said I do my things over Zoom, I could, sense that, he didn't like that. He was looking for someone to be able to actually go to. So,
Gotcha.
but
I
you
think
can't get them all.
that leaves Justina and Bob. Justina, I see your beautiful avatar. Are you actually with us? Can you hear us? I don't know. Maybe not.
Sounds like
Yeah,
you're
I'm
setting up
here.
a seance.
I'm just eating.
Oh, gotcha. Well, we can have Bob see what Bob's doing. What are your plans for the new year, Bob? What are your
Geez, Scott.
plans?
Well, I'm in the middle of hopefully closing another company. So that will be 2023. I've got to do a speech on Tuesday with my team members. And I've got to plan that out so that I can get the numbers up from last year. We fell behind a little bit, wasn't much, but I really want to make 2023 a much better year and start connecting with everyone more. This month, next month, I'm going to join someone and have them help me out a little bit. Scott King, I don't know if you know who that is, for a YouTube channel. So I may be looking for some support there. And looking to transition a little bit towards the end of the year more into what I'm doing. And now that I got this Chat GPT, this is really nice too. So quite a few things. I mean, the business itself, we're going through a lot of changes. And if we land this next company, they're in business for 100 years. So that's big. Yeah. So this will be 5 companies we have under our belt then.
That's awesome.
The heck? Oh, look at that. Ooh. I didn't think
I
about
mean-
doing something like, okay,
Yeah, Chat GPT, man. It's amazing tech.
it is.
Amazing tech.
It is.
Hey, Scott,
You're an echo.
Yeah.
ask it to think outside the box. Ask it to think outside the box.
Like, you just want me to say, think outside the box, or you want more specific?
Let's start with a general statement.
All right, yeah, let me share my screen again. I don't think it's going to understand this. You know what's amazing about the phrase think outside the box?
you have to be inside the box first.
No, what's amazing about that phrase is that somebody had to think outside the box to create the box. Everything used to be shipped in crates.
Scott, are you off mic?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm not off mic. It just moved it out of the way so I could see the screen.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That
So it
better?
was me.
No, it was me. Thinking outside the box. Okay, well, that's what it came up with.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, challenge yourself. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were reading it.
No, it's pretty
Right, we can
amazing.
ask it to think outside the box. It'll give us something similar, maybe.
Yeah, I think that what you could do is ask it the question, and then you say, "Okay, give me alternatives." Or
Oh,
ask
yeah,
it a
yeah.
question like, "What's the opposite of that?" You can get pretty creative with it.
So
Yeah, it's amazing what prompt engineers can come up with. That's what the new job is called, by the way.
to extend on David's experience, I had one was last week, afraid of heights. And we basically walked him through where he was afraid of heights. And we got him pretty much to a point where now he's not afraid of heights. And I explained to him that it wasn't as simple as he thought. He said, well, I just don't go up on ladders and I don't do stuff. But then we found out that there was other things tied to it. Then he said, he was telling me that there's another thing, that he's very goal oriented and he's very set in his ways and he's doing very well in life. And he kept doing this and he kept saying, there's one more thing. And I said, well, we don't have time for that. I said, but the big thing is we have to remember that we don't want to go into that memory and start playing with those emotions if there's something that's motivating you to actually creating the world you already live in. So we're going to have to be very delicate and go in, preserve the learnings, and be able to still take care of that memory so that it doesn't have the emotional charge, but the learnings are taken away. It's stored in the unconscious so that he can continue to keep doing what he's doing. But then we can also extend on that and get him to even expand more and become more successful. So it was very interesting. And especially when you start going back and looking at what the structure is and how they see heights and how they, you know, you never assume a ladder is a ladder. You never assume a building is a building. You never assume heights are heights, just like you don't assume weight is weight. So it was a very interesting conversation, and he's no longer afraid of heights. I know that because I really put him to the test. I had him literally walking up a ladder on a building, and I said, look down, look all around. And when he first did it, his hands were sweating. He couldn't do it. He was panicking. And I just said, it's okay. I've done this 1,000 times. You're fine. And then I knew once I went back into the memory, his hands were starting to shake. And I said, good, now I'm in where I need to go, because now I'm starting to affect him electrically. So we started really working hard on it. And we went back and I took him up one set of steps on a building. And I said, put the building on top of the building and go up another set of steps, because we're really going to go high. And he's like, no, everything's good. I said, all right. He was like, I just want to go out and do it right now. I just want to try it. And then I worked with, on Friday, I worked with a guy with pineapple pizza, which was fun. But he had a very big secondary gain, which was really important that we preserve that, because that was really a big part of his identity.
Yeah, I was talking to the whole crew about that before you showed up. Yeah, it was awesome. I was telling them to go check out the video. So
Yeah, I have it up in case you guys want to watch bits and pieces of it after Justina tells us what she's going to be doing. Or she's still eating.
Is that my cue?
that's your cue. That's
You
your
look
cue.
great.
I mean, really, this year for me is about my self-care, kind of getting down to the basics. Of course, I'm going to get my website up really quickly. And I mean, there's a million things I want to do, and I'm not going to do it all this year. So I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time. So my next step is really getting my website up and some little automations set up. And really the year is about, because last year, I was really stressed out, in a job I hated. And it was just, it was just killing me. It was just getting worse and worse. So this year is about, just self-care and, taking care of myself and making sure, I'm getting all the things I need, like people think, self-care is, the small thing, but the way I think of self-care, it's like your whole self, so like, what do I need more of? I need more social, I need more interacting with people. And that's part of my self-care. So it's like, I'm going to be looking at, I've always been, self-reflecting, and I had to do it again last year because, we're always changing. We're always like a different person. And so this year will be about, executing all of that.
Awesome. That sounds great.
I love your wording.
And
Yeah.
I can't
Executing. Oh, that was great.
wait for your talk at HT Live. No,
And I'll be doing 2 talks this year, which is pretty awesome.
that is awesome.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
That is awesome. You're
Wow.
doing the one on self-care. I guess I missed it on the schedule. What's the other one?
So the other one is a Jim's conference.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, so I'm either gonna do self-care or I'm gonna talk about self-love.
Awesome.
He reached out to me about that, doing something there. Jim Kellner.
Yeah.
In Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. I should find out tomorrow. If I don't have a cruise scheduled, I
It's in
think
the
I,
middle of like grad night season for us.
yeah, I might do something there. Know why I just moved in my chair like that, but that'll be something. Sorry, I self-analyze myself too.
Good to know you're analyzing other people.
Right? It's not just us.
At least I love you. Joe, so how, are you seeing any more clients?
Not at the moment. I've been pretty much busy building that website and that getting that business card put together.
Have you been out doing practicing in your lab of public?
Not mostly right now. I was just building that, and then a little bit in the school, the HTA school, diploma school there.
With
I'm
your
going to-
other colleagues, your other
Yeah,
other students.
practice them with them. Yeah, I practice with them.
Oh, good.
So I mean, it's not like I just stay completely idle doing nothing with it. But
Yeah.
of late, I was just focused on getting that website just something up. It's not
Maybe
really great, but
maybe you could talk to some of the people you're in the school with about, because I'm assuming most of the stuff you're doing is over Zoom, right?
right.
Maybe they'd be okay
Mm.
with recording that so you can start putting videos up. You know, videos up of doing stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, and you can share it and we can
I
look
thought
at it
about
too.
that. Yeah.
That'd be great. You can post it up and we can share, we can do it on the share screen and we can look at it,
Yeah.
kind of let you know what we
Okay.
think. We
Yeah. In
definitely,
fact, I think I know where I might be able to get one where I was working on weight.
Yeah.
I've
You
still
know,
got it
just-
recorded. I just got to ask before I bring it out.
Just a thought, the best thing to get people to come in seems to be putting content out there that shows that you actually know what you're doing.
Right.
So
Well, the Hispanic consciousness journeys on Saturdays. Right now, I got it set for Saturday. I'm putting also Sunday. That one is no charge. That's just spent kind of like a church service, essentially, except instead of covertly running hypnotic session like most preachers would do, I'm telling them straight out, this is what we're doing, and we're going to take a journey, and you're going to meet God as you understand Him in this journey.
that's great. I would love to sit in on one of those.
yeah,
You're
definitely.
see what
you're
you're doing
welcome.
there.
Anybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Well, you should post it up somewhere where we can find it.
Yeah.
You got
Or
on that-
record it. Like you
on
said,
that,
Scott, record it and share
on the
it.
site there. Right now, there's a
Inventory.
link that you can go to, and right there.
Awesome. Yeah.
And but yeah, anybody's welcome. Just sit in on
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw 5 cents. How do you say it, Colin? I'm gonna give some free advice, which is either worthless or priceless.
Yep.
Oh, good.
So this expanding content, it sounds like you're doing kind of a group hypnosis thing
It's exactly what it
with
is.
people. Okay.
Just like any church service.
So there's some Facebook groups for essentially podcasters to find guests. And I think that there's a lot of podcasts you could get on that would enjoy having that as part of a podcast episode for their listeners. And that can potentially expose you to anywhere from 2,000 or 3,000 listeners to 50 or 60,000 listeners in a single thing. You go out there, you get on a podcast.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get out there, you get on a podcast, you do this group thing with their podcast, and yeah, you could pull in some serious traffic from that.
Okay. And where would you say to go look for that at?
So there's some Facebook groups. I give me a minute, I'll find some of them. I've got some of them.
Facebook groups. Okay. podcasts and Facebook groups. Okay.
Yeah, for people looking for guests is what most of them are.
Mhm. But yeah, anybody wants to kind of sit in on that, it's more than welcome to sit in and enjoy it and go for the ride. Because whatever it is you'll still be that, maybe a little bit more when it's over.
Ooh, nice. Well said.
So,
I love that language.
yeah, because like I said, I'm not, this isn't set up to convert anybody to anything. It's just to expand their consciousness and help them connect with God as they understand him. Be they Baptists, Catholics, Mormons, Buddhists, Hindu, doesn't matter. Pagans, take a pick. And because the suggestions are not to any particular one faith. They're just that God as you understand him, and we're going to go out, kind of reach out into the infinite. And then as you reach the edge of the infinite, now just take one step beyond the infinite, where you can meet God as you understand him. That sort of thing is where I'm headed.
I like when you said infinite and you moved your hands. That was really good.
Mhm. So, but that's kind of where the direction of the things are going. So like I said, if you happen to just pick one, whatever it is, I don't know. Is anybody anything here? Just
Anybody,
as an
any,
example.
I
Just
mean,
for an example.
I was I'm trying to think, baptized a Mormon when I was
Okay,
14, because my mom thought it was cool.
right. Well, if you were Mormon, let's
I have no idea what the religion is, but yeah.
But anyway, if that's what you were and you want to explore that and
Yeah.
go on to that journey, you would go in there on that journey as a Mormon and then reach out and explore that inside yourself and to reach out to that consciousness and have that conversation with God and have him, basically talk to you and tell you what you need to know for today. And then once we get done with that, if somebody would say Jewish, then they would talk to the Lord God of hosts right there. And that's how they would perceive that same journey.
Hmm.
So even though you're Mormon, this other person's Jewish, another person's Buddhist, they're all going to have that experience, but it's going to be in their faith, whatever that is. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah,
'Cause
everybody's journey is
it's not my job to try to convert people. It's just to help people go connect with whatever their faith is, even deeper than where they're at.
And if I go deeper, what happens? I mean, what am I achieving? And what have you done?
What you're achieving at that point is connecting with the divine as you see and understand it. That's it. Whatever happens from there is going to be between you and that connection that you achieve with the divine. The last time I did it, I'm not sure what that person saw, but they seemed to have, it was very intense, whatever it was.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, positive.
I really think there's a lot of podcasts that would love to have that on their that you as a guest on their show to do that with their audience, and a lot of video
that'd be
casts on
awesome.
YouTube too.
Did you
That'd be
see how
awesome.
much he really gets in a deep trance when he talks about it too? Do you notice that?
Oh yeah, he definitely goes first when he does hypnosis. Like
Yeah.
he's definitely got that part of hypnosis down, no doubt.
Yeah, sometimes I lose track of time.
It does
Yeah,
happen.
I could see how that. Yeah, because you're
Happens.
As for me, I plan on doing a whole bunch of YouTube and I'm going to work on my
Right.
hypnosis store also.
Well, I may try that as well. at some point.
Colin will be glad to hear. I'm actually going to take his advice because it turns out that maybe he's right and maybe I was wrong and the world isn't ready for VR hypnosis. So I'm going to put out a bunch of audio hypnosis and see if I can actually get more traction that way. So.
Yeah.
Bob, I still want to see you jumping on doing a conversational hypnosis course.
Yes. Yeah, and that's something I've already got it started, and I've got a lot of stuff in there already. I am definitely working on it, and because you guys have really made that happen for me as well, helping me with it in the process.
And that is certainly how Jim and Brian at on his Friday deal felt as well. They definitely want that course. So
yeah, it's definitely going to happen. It's just I got to clean up this other part with my business. It's going to be about 2 or 3 months,
yeah,
and then it's going to be automatic. It's going to be a nice little money machine, and then I'm going to start talking about the 2 days a week that I'm going to, besides the weekend, that I'm going to devote to this, because I got to start getting it out of my head and somewhere so I can start, because I do it automatically and I don't think about it as much. So I really want to, and I've been training people. So it's been like, I work with Matt, I work with Tom, the other guy, I work with you a little bit, Scott, and I'm seeing the results. So obviously there is something there. I just have to pull it all out of there, and figure it out.
I've seen a lot of people, quote unquote, teach conversational hypnosis. I've never seen anyone who does it as fluidly as you do, just in actually seen them using it to the extent that you do, and all the different nuance you bring to it. If you can manage to teach that to other people, that's powerful. I know a lot of people who love to learn that. Me,
No, you're right. I mean, if even my instructor, Steve Raymond, all of them, they do it, but they still, you can tell it's happening.
Yeah.
And
You're a savant when it comes to this stuff, man. It's crazy.
I would agree with that.
it's, so do you want me to flip over to this? You guys
To the deal with Jim?
Yeah, I
Right.
have.
Yeah,
I have-
sure. We can jam the video out. I'm
Okay.
sure Jim
And
wouldn't
if
mind.
Scott, you want to say anything or jump in at any time, go right ahead. This is a
Yeah.
free for all type of thing. So
Let's get
well,
it.
I have it. Actually, I have it to the part where I was working with him.
Yeah.
And then I pull back recall, and then I start doing non-awareness with him, and he gets freaked out. So this is the fun part.
Yeah, it was fun because he he knows what's going on.
But he couldn't do anything about it. That was the fun part.
Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
damn it.
Weird. And it's interesting too, because of course, I work in, in trance and stuff. So, but since I'm wide awake, it's so much more, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so much more real, like tangible, because I could see that pineapple and I could see that pizza, and I'm on the beach and it's beautiful. And wow, you're doing some witchcraft, Bob.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're going to do almost like the switch pattern, because we're going to take the two images, right? And we're going to clean up this one, which is the one that you said you didn't like it soft and all those other things. But now you see it differently, because you now have a pizza and you have fresh pineapple. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eat them together, but you can eat one and with the other, and it would taste very good. Now, there's a lot going on here, but I don't want to break the whole thing down. But do you watch Jim, the micro movements on him? Because I'm telling him this, and at the same time, he's actually agreeing with me with his eyes and his okay, you guys see it. And I previously synchronized with him, so I was connected with him and Scott. So I did some things to see if they were truly there, and I'm still trying to find it. I actually go to itch my nose, but I'm telling a story, and they both do it at the same time. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally did it on purpose. I'm like, oh, I'll help you along there, Bob.
And Jim, he was like, he could tell he was dying. He was trying not to do it. He's like, okay. Okay. Because you'll get that full savory experience, which is amazing in itself, where you're still going to be on that beach, and you're going to have that nice pineapple tree, and you're going to have that nice feeling, and you're going to associate that feeling now with eating a pineapple pizza.
Look at him
So,
trying not to smile.
and let's face it,
Yeah.
you were indicating already just by licking your lips that you could taste the pineapple with the pizza. And what's amazing is
I want again.
there you go.
I can't stop.
I know.
My lips are dry.
That's sorcery. I don't care what you say.
It is.
That is.
It is some kind of sorcery, Brian. It
This is
really
not this is not by accident either, so you know.
Oh,
These
Jim,
are the Jedi mind tricks.
Jim's gonna go run down the Narnia rabbit hole and be like, "Oh, we've got pizza with pineapple here. It's a taste delicious."
Bob, when is your train? When's your training? I'm signing up.
No, so remember, rapport is never, we should never take rapport for granted. Just because
Yeah.
we start, right? We want to make sure that we're always staying connected with our, if you want to call it client or friend or whatever we're doing. So, and I've showed Scott this as well. All through the conversational hypnosis, we still have to build on rapport and trust, because the more I know you better than you, I can make those changes and help you. No, let me go back. I can't. That was on purpose too, by the way.
Was accidentally on purpose.
Yes. Yeah, because you never want to come off like you are totally perfect. Because I might lose them then. And that's because I'm talking about rapport, but I'm at the same time I'm building with him. Can't make those changes. You can. And when I do this, it's a picture in your mind of warmth, and it's only water. But I do this on purpose because I drink, I do this, and then I put it down, and then I start talking to you again. You're going to instantly connect with me and connect with warmth. And he doesn't know why. Because the unconscious mind's picking up, but he's not picking it up consciously.
Wow. There's so many layers to this.
It is. And the way I smile, the way I use my face. Do you see what I'm doing right now? This is not by accident. This is on purpose because I'm engaged with you. And then I'll sit back and then I'll become silent. And that's even more powerful than a whole conversation, because now I allow you to give you time to talk.
And do you know
Wow,
how you
that
can
is-
tell that somebody is really listening to what you have to say?
What's that?
They tilt
Yeah.
their head.
Yeah.
Ah,
Just a slight tilt of the head. It's what we do as humans whenever we're listening.
Won't you also see people like lean in, or
You do.
if you're like sitting side by side, like in a social setting, they'll either angle their body towards you, or women, if they cross their legs, they'll put their leg on top, kind of pointing towards you. If they do the opposite away, they're kind of like shying away, going like, when's
Yeah.
this
And
gonna end?
well, that's all of it. That's the package.
It's good to catch when people are leaning in, but with what we do, it's more important to catch when they're leaning out.
Yeah.
Because when they're leaning out, that means you're losing them. There's whatever thread of conversation you're on, they're uncomfortable with it in some degree.
Well, what about like what about when people there's like something that kind of sticks, and they kind of lean back. It's almost like they're relaxing a little bit, going like, all right, I'm kind of settling in because I want to hear more. I want
So
to make
it's
myself
content. You got to
Yeah.
understand the content, right? If you
Okay.
start talking about your grandmother and how great you had a good time and it was amazing, and you sit back, I'm not going to say, oh, look, he's going away from something. No, I need to put all the pieces together, right? Just because you do There we this go. means nothing. There we go. But if I go, hey, Brian, let me tell you about that fight. Here we I go. just had Watch. with He's someone in the dying. parking lot.
Uh-huh.
And it was upsetting because when I was thinking about my mom,
It was great.
Fucked up.
oh God. I have one more. This was Scott got this as well. I sent it over to him, and he allowed me to film this. This is my guy that's my operations manager. He runs my company, and he gets in his own mind and he holds himself back a lot. So he doesn't necessarily make change fast. He's always getting hung up on how safe he can keep the environment and all these other things. So I had to work with him to get him out of his own head. So I did some stuff. So I'll play a small clip of this. It's actually 20 minutes long, but in this right now, he gets really hung up in his head. So what I'm going to start doing is spinning him out of his head. Now, got to remember, I'm training him too. So he knows a lot of my techniques. Even though he knows it and he'll call me out on it, he still can't resist it. And you'll see in a minute how that happens.
Therefore,
Are you guys okay with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be kicking myself because it's something that should have been done the day before. Should have been done. So it just piles up. So you don't want it to pile up. I get it.
So just so you know, this is a day in the life of my HVAC business. So this is a day in life of my HVAC. We're echoing too, so I get to hear myself twice. So this is, Scott talks about doing things on a daily basis. This is the stuff I'm doing. So everybody knows this is the stuff I'm doing. Oh my, okay.
But I still fight with it at times. I really do.
So there was a couple things. One is you said it gets in your head,
Right.
and you said you fight with it.
Right.
So if you were to take it out of your head and not fight with it, and you wouldn't become you, how would it be different?
I don't have an answer for that. How would it be different?
Sure. What would you accomplish?
See my foot moving?
Yeah. So I was actually just fixing to ask you if that was on purpose.
Calibrating
I
with him.
can't see him to see the.
No, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to explain. Because he wouldn't let me. Not that he
That's
wouldn't
fine.
let me. I just was
Oh,
very
my
careful.
God.
But
And like I told you, I think there's a lot of value in this not being able to see him.
Okay, so I'm calibrating him with my foot. His breathing with my foot,
Mm.
so that I can still stay out of his head, but at the same time make sure I can help him get out of his head. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. And so he's gonna catch on a little bit, but he's gonna figure it out. So I'm gonna rephrase it once, and then you'll see how I literally pull him out very quickly.
Is that a trick question? Wait a second. Let me step back. Say that again.
So,
if I run in my head,
right, and you didn't have to fight with it, and you weren't you, how would you make it different?
Now I pause here for a reason. I didn't finish it. And then I will finish it very shortly. You'll see it.
What would you accomplish?
There it is.
again, the way
My
you're
foot
wording that
stopped.
question is
What would you accomplish if you weren't in your head anymore? And you didn't
oh,
have to
the
fight
thing
with
would
it?
just get done. I wouldn't just rest.
It would
with
just get done.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Right. It would
And
just get
there
done.
would be no such thing as tomorrow
I wouldn't have to worry about tomorrow because
because
it's
you would
already
get it
done
done
today.
get it done today.
Right. So that's part of that internal battle.
So how is that different now that you think about it? Water heater just came in. Something just came in. It's urgent. Now that you get out of your own head,
Right.
no more fight. You're not you at this point, but you're going to make it work.
So you just get it done. You
Just get it done.
That's all. You just get it done.
That's the difference.
Just get it done.
Right.
I'm
Now-
getting better with it.
Yeah, you are getting a lot
Get
better with it. And
Because, but see, I know it's something. Let's put it this way: I recognize it more.
There's a lot of resistance with him. Now, Scott, you saw the whole thing, so you know there's a lot of resistance. So he'll bring up his unconscious mind now has opened up Pandora's box. So now his unconscious mind gives me something, then we deal with it, and then it goes, oh, well, I've got another thing. Here, how about this? And it just continues, and eventually it runs out of stuff.
because as it comes up, I recognize it.
Right.
That
Awareness is the key to everything.
there you go. It's a perfect word. The aware.
Yeah.
I'm more aware of this upcoming battle I may have.
Right.
You know what I mean? This battle may be a big word, but we'll just use that as a frame. It's just, and how to work through it ahead of time so I don't have that whole inner turmoil.
So when you say battle,
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Now watch. And now I just pulled that little toy that he just put out there. I'm going to pull it out and analyze it for him.
what would be good about that?
Like, who asked that kind of question? What would be good about a battle? Like,
Nothing, because I get up in my head, and that's what we were talking about this before. Is that up in my head, that wrestling of getting it, just pushing it off.
So
till tomorrow.
not a battle. How would that look?
Oh, it'd be great
How would it look great? What would happen?
because everything would flow easy.
Everything would flow. Easy.
But in real life, I don't know if I have that because it's always it's
all right. And this is what I told Scott. This is what I missed right here. Did you hear the hot word?
Which one?
Real
Easy.
world.
Real world. Yeah.
I didn't hear
I
that.
totally missed that. It was okay because I took another one, but that was a roadblock that I should have taken. But it's okay because I spun him out even more and brought him into the real world. But I should have used that.
Yeah.
Because that was a clue for me.
But I'd rather
it's a challenge.
let's go back and say, instead of saying battle, let's say challenge.
Challenge. We'll go back.
Let's go to the challenge.
We'll go challenge.
All right. So what's good about a challenge?
It depends.
Give me all the good things that are good about a challenge. What value does that bring to you?
It brings me a sense. How do I
That would
word
have been a
that?
good spot to say, what value does that bring to you in the real world?
Yeah, most definitely. And basically, you guys want me to stop? Anybody want me? We
No,
okay?
I'm
We're good. You guys all right? Should I keep going?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So have you ever had a challenge in your life where you were in sports or something?
Okay. Did you hear the heavy sigh?
Did I hear the sigh? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's already changed. That means he's already starting to change.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
And it
saying.
was
That's
just
what I'm trying to
Truly amazing. I mean, you just did it and you were like, what the heck? I didn't even think about it.
right,
You just did it.
right, because it became natural.
Natural.
Right.
So that's the word you're looking for.
Right.
So when someone comes in and they want something done right away,
The natural flow would be just to do it.
hey,
Smart
how
guy.
did you do that?
Yeah.
That was pretty
I hear
good.
you.
That was great.
I hear you.
Excellent job.
Right.
So it no longer looks like a battle. You're no longer in your head. And there's no more.
Remember we talked about this on the Friday night? Now I'm going to start blitzing him, giving him all the feedback that he was using, but it's in a different way now. You no longer presupposition.
More resistance. It becomes a challenge, which is natural. So it just flows when it
Right.
comes in. And now you can get things done.
Right. And I can.
So instead of overthinking it and the ball goes and it's a strike and you're like, what the heck's going on?
Right.
You actually swing
Yeah. Sometimes you miss.
with caution. At times, you're still okay, a little bit of caution.
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
saying you shouldn't have no caution.
Right.
Because you certainly don't want to overthink it and miss the swing.
No, but I don't want to go into it without having a plan too. Everybody's got a plan when they come up to the plate.
There's
I mean, I
certain-
always have. So
Well, let me tell you, if someone's swinging at you and they want to hit you,
Yeah.
are you going to say, wait a minute, I need a plan? Are you going to put up your arm
no, that's going
and
to
block it?
That's just a defensive measure.
Now I call this poking.
Poking the bear.
Yep.
Right. So
I think
there's
that's a
some
whole
things,
different topic.
some things you have to react very
Well,
quickly.
sure you do. I
And
get it.
then there's some things that you do need to plan. And there's some things you do need to take a step back.
I get that.
And those become challenges.
Challenges.
And that's what's important, because now we understand that challenges, you'll put those on the shelf and you'll put them aside and then be able to conquer them in a different way.
Did you notice the drop in the voice?
Yeah.
Joe? In a different way. That was an embedded command.
And it wasn't a question.
Right. Yeah. Aren't you? Can't you? Won't you? Right, Lisa?
Mhm.
I like that. Now you're processing.
I am.
Yeah, I know you are.
I have another,
Shaking your head. And
I
you're,
have another. See, I have another part of this equation.
Here we go.
okay.
Okay, so this is part of this.
You ever have this where you think you're all done, you think you're starting to finish up, and all of a sudden they come up with something else? It's like, Jesus.
Constantly.
The problem's never the problem.
Challenge that I have.
All right.
We got a different word now. We're not going to
Yes,
use
we
battle.
do.
We're going to use challenge.
Yes.
Then I feel the emotions of those people, whoever is going to get that task.
Okay.
We'll use the water heater at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
In reality, I know they want to go home.
You're overthinking, though.
I am.
them.
See?
For them,
Oh, for them.
not for you.
Oh, because I don't know what's in their head.
Oh, that's right.
I think I know what's in their head. If I was them, I would probably
Oh.
want to go home.
Jesus,
But
I
then
want
I'm
to take you
thinking
with
for
me
them.
then.
Ah,
I'm going to take you on a road show. We'll do those fortune teller things. Because, I mean, you've got it at this point. You can read other people's minds.
good God.
How would you know then? If you really wanted to know.
I don't know that.
How could you?
It's
Simple, right? How could you?
How is it simple?
Can you just ask?
Yeah. Like we did today.
That's right.
Well, Gary.
That's right. He was more than glad and happy to do it.
More than, yes, he was.
You actually made his day, probably. But if you
Seven.
would see now that's good, because you're getting examples of
Right.
how it is to have this other thing, which is called challenge.
Right. There really isn't a battle.
No, never was. You were just
Right.
stuck in your own head. What feels different about it now?
Now I'm checking in.
It's not as murky.
Oh, here we go. Another
Hmm.
word.
The
How does murky feel?
quote unquote challenge.
So it's not
That's
as
the battle.
Okay, so it's not as murky.
Because it is clear, it's clarified a bit, meaning this is to react, but have a plan, accept the challenge.
These are all the things that we worked him through. He's got the process now. See him building on it.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons it's so powerful, is because
And move forward.
the way it's done, the thoughts are built inside their head.
Yeah.
You're not just giving the answers; you're guiding them to help them find their own answers.
When I read the book, I'm still reading it, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. He calls it thin slicing.
Succeed and not wait till tomorrow. Murky is I'd put all that in my head at one time instead of, like you say, making a plan to a point, but removing the blockage, their emotions without even thinking I know it. I think I know the lateness of the day, how the work is going to even get done. I can wait till tomorrow. So you put them all in this bucket of water, if you will, and it gets all murky inside there.
So give me the opposite of murky.
Clear. Like I said,
Clear.
clarifies. Yeah.
What value does that bring to you?
Joe, do you know what I'm doing there? I'm chunking up. So I'm trying to pull him away from that word. You're on mute, by the way, Joe. You're on mute, Joe.
You missed all kind of wisdom there. Now I lost it. But anyway.
It'll come back to you.
Let us know. Anyway, so basically you're just what he's doing, taking him away from murky, just trying to find something that he can relate to and to move beyond being murky. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, when you have something that has a negative charge to it, you need to reform it, okay, into something other than what it is.
So you asked him there for the opposite of murky, but he, like he says, he had already given you clarify. So I was wondering if that was just another thing you missed, or if you intentionally
I need to
wanted him
layer it.
state it different.
I need to make sure that it's very important when we get to the end that I didn't miss. Of course, I missed that one thing, but we're building, and I gotta be absolutely 100% knowing that I got him on that one, one position, and we're really making sure we clean it up as much as we can. Did you want me to stop, Scott?
No, sorry, I was just
Okay.
getting a text message.
It makes things brighter.
Makes things brighter.
And like I said, it
And what's important
clarifies
about that?
because then you can execute.
Then you can execute.
Yeah.
And
That's the way I feel anyway.
and what value does that bring?
Accomplishment.
Accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then what's important about accomplishment?
Personal satisfaction and joy. That a job well done.
Okay. Personal satisfaction and job well done. So go back to that word that you thought
Now watch.
was just a word, murky.
Yeah.
How does it change? How's it changed? What's different about it?
Oh, it's filtered now.
It's filtered.
It was murky. Let's step with you.
Now you're even having trouble saying the word murky.
Step with the
I love
original
it.
thing.
That was good.
Battle was the word. It's no longer a battle.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Murky's no longer there. It's been filtered, so now it's clarified. So
Clarified.
it's clearer. Yeah.
Clearer.
Yeah. So therefore, the way my mind processes the challenge
Mhm.
is accomplishment at the end of the challenge, if you will, is getting the job done.
Yeah.
In a timely manner.
And how does that feel?
Much easier.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great example. And it really, one thing I noticed from it was how much time you were giving him to process and keep up and come along with the journey,
Yeah.
I see a lot of people try to rush through an exercise like that, and it diminishes its effectiveness, I believe.
You got to be patient. You got to know when to pause. You got to know when to and I keep calibrating with him to make sure I'm still in there with him. And then I'm also trying to gain rapport back again at the same
And
time.
how are you calibrating exactly? What do you do?
I'm watching his breathing,
Yeah.
and I either use my hand or I use my foot to kind of tap when because his breathing was picking up. So I was tapping it on using my foot, and then I was using my hand. Poor David, he was falling asleep.
Okay, so you just switch between using your hand and your foot, and then
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that obvious at that point.
You can calibrate just by pausing and doing nothing.
Right.
That's a great way to calibrate. Because you're giving him time to express himself. And you can really get, all information is information. We don't know what it is, and we have to break it down. We have to get to understand it. What it means to that person. That's what success is in conversational hypnosis. And I've said that many times. Can't assume anything means anything. Oh, I don't hear you, Scott. You're paused. Oh. I
That
think
was,
everybody's.
I don't know. No, that was a very interesting exercise you had there, for sure. I need to work on that a lot. I can see.
Oh yeah, that Bob's conversational skills are top notch for sure. And he's helped pull mine along tremendously. Just by highlighting the different things that I do. You know, just like I guarantee you right now, he's evaluating Justina and you and Sean, all of y'all right now. I guarantee you he's evaluating.
We know.
Hey, by the way, thank
James,
you.
not me.
It was nice
I
seeing
would
you,
turn off cameras sometimes.
Justina and Sean over there at that thing. It was great to see you guys there as well.
I knew I wasn't about to miss it. I knew that was going to be a heck of a time with Jim and you getting in there. And I really like it because it's a you getting your foot in the door for getting the kind of exposure that you're going to need to move into this arena.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was happening, so it was just by chance that I caught it, but it was awesome. I was like, I'm like, oh no, what are they doing to Jim? What are they gonna do? Was he gonna really do it?
No,
But it was good.
I didn't want him to lose it was really important to him. I knew that. That's why I kept backing away.
He didn't want to be the next Howie Mandel.
Right. That's a great example.
Yeah, but it was also really great that that you had that because it's something that, I mean, it's pineapple on pizza. It's not like it matters, right? But it was still something that he was able to demonstrate that resistance that he still had to it, like, man, when he got on that beach, man, y'all didn't see it, but he popped our eye. He's like, no. He's like, I can feel it. Nope. No, we're not doing that. And I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The law of comparisons are amazing. When someone says they have something and you say to them, well, has there been any other examples that you've had the same situation, but you've gotten through it and you've been fine, and then when you can start moving and that was the best part is I had no time because he kept saying before the show, before you guys get on, he says, we don't have a lot of time. We got to watch our time. Make sure you tell him like, oh shit. Okay. So conversational is not necessarily that fast.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to put it on steroids a little bit here.
But you noticed that by the time we were going along, because normally he cuts those off pretty good at 10 o'clock. Like he goes an hour and that's pretty much what he does. But he was like, if we need to stay on a little bit longer, I'm perfectly fine with it. Right. Like by the end, he's like, if we need to stay on a little bit longer, we can do that. I mean, that's something there. So he was definitely getting value out of it. And I think other people were too. So,
yeah.
And that's why you almost had two Canadians trailing you through HTL.
Yeah.
You're always welcome. You know that. Even we're coming up on another one. So
God, can you believe it's already been half a year?
I know.
And it's only half a year to the next one.
Oh,
I can't
man.
wait. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Basically, everybody in here right now is going to be at HTL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll be there.
Yeah. Hopefully at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I mean, I'm speaking, so I got to go, right? That's how it works.
So I like that Bob's from a HVAC background. I mean, there's actually hope for me.
I guess you have a similar background.
Hey Bob,
yeah.
Can you cut me a deal on a mini split?
Sure.
Yeah, they were out of stock when I was trying to do mine.
Oh yeah, they're I'll tell you what, they're going to be really out of stock next year.
They're popular.
The government's giving away $7,900 if you put those in to replace electric.
Really?
So yeah, there's a lot of rebate money coming back. So we're trying to get involved right now. I know my son-in-law and the operations manager are working on finding out what process they have to go through in the paperwork to get it. So
That's where I started out.
Yeah.
ABC Tech out of Tucson,
oh really?
then Green Valley Cooling and Heating, where close to where I'm at now.
Wow. Oh, so that's what you do?
I went from that into straight electrical and mining,
Okay.
but
Now he's retired, right?
unfortunately, yeah,
Starting your third career.
yeah.
Wow.
Now spinal stenosis, this hand don't work too good. If I can't see it, I have no real idea what it's doing.
Mm. And a lot of my
That's an
skills are,
induction just waiting to happen.
yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. Well, it's also if you reach around blindly into equipment trying to like put nuts on the back of screws or something, you can get into something you really don't want to get into.
Yeah. What were you saying, Bob?
Well, that's a lot of how I do conversational. I break it down just like I would a piece of equipment. And I've been doing it for, oh God, I was 19. So almost 40 years. Jesus. Can't believe I even said that. Jeez. But you know, the thing is, when I was showing you that video, I wasn't in an office. I wasn't in where I had free reign. I have barriers I have to deal with because it's a professional and business atmosphere. So he can and cannot know what I'm doing. So it's kind of difficult at times with that kind of thing, but I still do it.
Well, I mean, it's, all bosses talk to their employees in an effort to motivate and focus them on the given task. Okay. The only difference is the way you're speaking to them has more knowledge and technique behind it. So it's more effective.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's no different than if someone went to school and got trained to be a better manager. In fact, all of my brother-in-law has a lot of NLP training, none of which is called NLP. It's all managerial leadership training. But I've seen what they've trained him in. It's all NLP. Every bit of it's NLP. And yeah. So
yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I take any of the McDonald's manuals, and I mean, some of those manuals are like 3-inch binders. And looking back on it and understanding what I know now, a lot of that language was designed to help, particularly students, but create the behaviors necessary to be efficient inside the restaurant.
Yeah, there's a sales system called Sandler Sales. And after I learned hypnosis, I realized that a lot of their techniques were very NLP/hypnosis based. They never talk about it. I don't even know if most of their trainers don't even know that's what they're doing.
Yeah, most of them don't. Most of I wouldn't say most, but a lot of sales training material that's out there is heavily NLP influenced. And that's because it's effective. The reason that sales teams use it is because it's effective. Because if it wasn't effective, they'd use something else.
So true. Justina's getting cold.
Itchy.
I can only see this small of a square on my screen. So
you need a bigger monitor setup, Bob. I mean,
yeah.
You set up like mine. I got 2 screens. I got a screen over here, a screen up here.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna get another screen.
It's not the size of the screen that counts.
It's the information you have on it, right?
Exactly.
I guess then you need glasses.
Now, I promise you, once you start editing video and audio, you need 2 screens. You really do.
Yeah.
It increases the workflow tremendously.
Yeah, and the bigger the screen, the better, because more of the timeline shows up.
Yeah,
easier to work with. I
we
missed.
say as poor James gets really close to his very large screen.
Exactly.
I got a large 43-inch extra wide screen sitting in my office.
Dang.
Wow.
Well, if you need somewhere to store that, I know a nice warm place in Texas it can go.
Yeah.
I might bring it home to heat my house.
In fact, that sounds like screen abuse, keeping it up there in the freezing cold of Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Now I know that the 49-inch from Samsung will fit on my desk, the curve, but only because it's curved, because my desk is 48 inches wide. But I know that 49-inch will fit on here, and it's when it came out, it was like $1,800. Now it's down to about 700, and it drops down to about 5. I may accidentally find the money for it.
I was looking at that one, and then I know Lenovo's got a massive one as well, 49-inch, but I think it's a straight flat screen, so you kind of want to, it won't fit on my small desk, but it would fit on my larger desk.
Wow.
It's nice to work with, like when you're doing a lot of design work.
Mhm.
It certainly does help.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's having 2 screens it's not mandatory for doing editing stuff, but
Sure makes it easier.
The amount of increased efficiency it caused when I went to 2 screens just blows me. Like, I would not go back. I would not go back ever. My brother-in-law, he works at AIG insurance thing, and I think he's got like 6 screens on his desk. It's ridiculous. I'm
Wow.
like, man, he's got them all over. But he's super efficient too.
Sounds like it'd be a nightmare to keep up with.
They moved him from one department to another in his company, and they had to hire 5 people to take over his workload.
Wow.
One per screen.
Right, one per screen. Basically, one per screen. Yeah. And then it's his new, like they moved him from, he was doing something in call center, like incoming calls, dealing with customers, just having problems. And they moved him to the fraud division. And like his first year in there, he's directly responsible for saving the company like $183 million. He told me
Wow.
that, and I'm like, so you taking that in to ask for a raise? I'm like, your first year, you save the company $183 million. I think you deserve a raise. You know?
Wow.
Like, go get it. You know, no. Yeah, I would not want to do what he does. He digs through all sorts of financial assets and like just a bunch of spreadsheets. Like this, that's not for me. I would be like, okay, how can I automate this so I don't actually have to do it?
Ask Chat GPT.
Exactly. Chat GPT
Yeah.
can tell you. No, I love that thing. I've been using that thing like crazy. Between it and what I've learned in programming and automation in the last 6 months, I'm at least 5 times more efficient than I used to be. I'm getting so much stuff done. It's like, wow. My wife asked me, she's like, can the computer not do that all night? Because the hard drive is running because I'm making audios, and it's that hard drive sound, because my office is in the corner of our bedroom. She's like, yeah, that's driving me crazy. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
Earplugs.
Right.
Time to get a new
Earplugs.
office.
Yeah.
No. What I need is another solid state drive. I've been having it go to my physical hard drive, my magnetic hard drive, and it makes noise. A solid state drive doesn't make any noise. But it's a lot of content, so it won't really fit on the solid state drive reasonably. But it'll fit on that 16 terabyte drive nice.
Hey, does
but yeah.
anyone know what would cause low bandwidth, like while on the call right now?
You've got something up with your internet. It's just, I don't know what kind of internet you have. If your internet is any kind of wireless system, all kinds of things can interfere with like if you're on a laptop and you're using a Wi-Fi card and somebody is using a microwave, it can mess with your bandwidth and make it to where the interference slows your stuff down. if you're, it could just be unreliability of your internet provider. I get that sometimes because I'm on the Starlink, and like when it jumps from one satellite to another, I'll get that it'll say you got low bandwidth, and all the screens will be reduced down to 360p or whatever.
Yeah, and if depending on how they have things structured in your area, your network may be dumped into another network, into another network, into another network.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, it could also be if
be.
you're on kind of one of the shared services where just a whole bunch of people are online right now. Like my service gets kind of crappy on Friday nights.
Okay. Yeah, I've just never seen that before. But then again, this is a different monitor. It's a PC, not a different laptop. This is not an Apple. This is like a Acer laptop.
Yeah, so
and
your laptop shouldn't it shouldn't be the fact that it's a different laptop, except maybe the Wi-Fi isn't getting as good a signal. Maybe that maybe you're a little farther away from the other computer. If you can get a wired connection, that's always your best bet, because it's you eliminate the slowdown that Wi-Fi can have. You eliminate that possibility.
Yeah. One thing you could do also in the settings of the card itself, you could go in there and actually boost the
power.
The power to the card.
Yeah,
I'm using an extender.
Yeah, so an extender automatically cuts your internet in half because it's got basically it has to repeat everything, so it cuts your throughput in half.
What's really funny though is like if I connect directly, the internet is like it doesn't really work that well. But when I use extenders, when it actually works like properly.
Okay, so do you mean when you connect to the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
To the Wi-Fi? Yeah, that's just because of signal. Like, so the extender is getting you a strong enough signal that you're going to be able to connect. But just because of the nature of extenders, what they do is they listen to your traffic and then they retransmit your traffic. So it cuts the amount of traffic you can send in half, which isn't that big a deal most of the time. Most of the time you'll never notice it because today we have so much speed in our internet services. And most of the time you'll never notice it. But on something like this, I mean, you're pulling in, 5 to 7 video feeds simultaneously. Zoom is actually pretty resource intensive, but if you can get a wired connection, that's always going to be your best bet, just because there's no interference. They're way faster. Like I think right now, if you've got a top of the line wireless card, you can get 300 megabits. A crappy internet card, a crappy network card from 20 years ago, you can get a gigabit. You can get 3 or 4 times as much as you can get through wireless with a crappy old network card from 20 years ago. So wired is always best if you can, but if you can't, you can't. Because some people can't. Just the way things are set up.
Okay, thanks.
Would you agree with that, Sean? You're an IT guy.
Wired is always better. It's always more secure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there still wouldn't be upstream problems.
Yeah,
I tried wired on my other laptop because I can plug it in directly, and like my internet was still unstable. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening.
And is that Shaw or is that TELUS?
Rogers.
Yeah.
How long ago was it installed?
We've had Rogers forever.
You might want to get them to double check the install and maybe see if there's a newer version of that router.
Yeah.
Because that's Fasttel would have been fine leaving everything as it was, when they installed it, except that they were the ones that decided to go to a fiber install, and so they had to come and actually replace it. So
yeah, if you can get fiber, that's amazing internet. Everybody I know has fiber. I'm just blown away at the speeds they have, especially the upload speeds. I don't know how it is in Canada, but down here, all the fiber services are full duplex. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can get that.
I can check here. Hang on.
Yeah, because I thought that isn't that from Bell, but because I live in an older area, and they did do something with the wires. I did complain around September last year, so they did cut the old wire out and put a new wire in. But I don't think I have fiber. Like I don't know if it's available unless I switch to Bell or something.
You probably don't. You probably don't then. James over there, you got fiber, don't you?
Yeah, I have fiber. I used to be on Google Fiber, but I moved neighborhoods and now I'm on AT&T.
Yeah, I would
Is
love to have
fiber
fiber
like a-
connection.
Is fiber like a dedicated kind of line where you're not sharing it with anyone?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I don't know exactly how the architecture works, but yeah, they had to run the line directly to my house, and I have, gigabit.
And because it's going through a fiber optic cable, you can have a lot more bandwidth.
Yeah.
Because essentially every nanometer of light can be another pathway for you to send it. So there's just it can transfer.
But I probably use 300 megabits because that's how fast the Wi-Fi router is. So I need to hard code a wire up to my office upstairs in my house and make it faster.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
My service is 100 down, 75 up, so almost full.
And is that fiber?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, most of the fiber around here seems to be duplex gigabit. So
In my house, it's yeah, the heck was it?
It'll come through.
Metamucil.
Metamucil, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Haha, fiber.
That's
fiber.
almost a Sean joke.
That sounds like a dad joke written by Chat GPT.
It's a psyllium husk.
Psyllium husk. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I'm gonna head out, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's only 9:20. We can party on. But no,
Yeah.
It's been great.
I imagine everybody was up late last night. I know I was.
Yeah.
So
It's 10:20 for me.
yeah, I know. But
I just finished.
Yeah, but I'm
my
in
pot of
sleep in.
black-eyed peas.
Oh,
you just finished your pot of black-eyed peas, huh? You do that thing, huh?
Oh, you just
Yeah.
barely. Oh yeah, I did too.
Got a big
I know.
old bowl.
Black
right
eyed peas, cornbread, and greens. And in my case,
No
was
cornbread.
spinach.
I ain't
No,
about.
oh my
I ain't
God,
about
that-
that black-eyed peas.
Hey,
This is the
Sean,
first
you
time
need
I
to
made it vegan.
you need to
so.
prepare for some visitors up there, Sean, because I mean they did not do that. We're gonna have to deport them to Canada. I'm telling you.
Can't eat cornbread. It's bad for me.
Yeah, but it's New Year's,
Yeah, but
so
it don't
everybody
matter.
did not have the three. Has to go to Canada now.
Well, no. You can go to Canada if you want. Yeah,
There
I'm
are
sure you had
greens
enough for
in my
me.
soup.
I ate
There's
mine.
no cornbread.
I ate mine.
Yeah.
We'll accept visitors when it warms up.
Right, you can't even get there now. Alan's in New York, no, Maryland right now. He did Pennsylvania.
Ooh, man.
And he
Yeah,
was
well-
like, well, you can go do the show with me in Pennsylvania. And I was like, I'm good.
I can guarantee you, if I was doing shows, I would do everything in my power to schedule. Like in the winter, I'm down in the South.
That's what I said.
yeah.
I was like, we got to adjust this. He said that's not where the money is. That's what
Mhm.
he said.
Well, yeah, that's because it's so cold up there. They're starved for entertainment.
They are. Yeah.
Well, how cold was it when he was in Canada? Did he was?
Oh my
in the
God. It was
minus 40?
negative something. He was in
Yeah.
Alberta.
Yeah, he was in Medicine Hat, if I recall, or not
Yeah,
Medicine Hat,
Red Deer.
Red Deer.
Red Deer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, I don't want to go to that one too. And I said, nah, I'm good. It sucks.
I would have, if it was you, I would have driven 12 hours to come and watch.
Oh, well, we're
I wouldn't have. I'll pay to catch it on Vimeo before I'll drive 12 hours in the snow to go watch it.
trying to remember the Western Fair. We're working with them, and we'll see. That might be closer. I don't know. The weather will be better.
Yeah, actually, maybe I'll have money. Can go to Canada in the summer. Maybe that'd be cool. Canada's nice in the summer.
Yeah, for the most part. Depends on where you
I
go.
went- Vancouver.
It just showed up on my my memories. We went for New Year's 3 years ago. We
So
did
I
Vancouver.
watch so much like sci-fi television that I feel like when I go to Vancouver, I'll just know the city.
Right, because that's where it's all
There you go. Wait,
Yeah,
me and
I'm
my
like,
wife
Vancouver.
oh,
went on
I
a
remember
cruise.
this episode of Stargate. I remember this episode of Continuum.
Yeah, Vancouver, Toronto, or Montreal is
a lot
a,
of things
a
are
distant
filming.
third.
Yeah.
Winnipeg occasionally.
Yeah, me and my wife went to Vancouver, going on a cruise to the Inside Passage there, and it was beautiful. It was just like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So now you
James,
know the
what
truth.
are you doing? Your screen is like uber flashy, or it was. I don't know what you were doing, but it was just like it was like light, flash.
Really?
Yeah.
You see that on camera?
Yeah, I totally could see that on camera. I
I
don't know what
turned
you're
my
doing.
camera off because I had a light bulb that was having ghostly
Oh,
maneuvers
yeah.
too. But it
Interesting.
seems to be back
Yeah,
on.
I was just moving from dark to light,
Ah.
zooming around. So interesting.
Gotcha.
I think it's maybe bouncing off the back of the other monitor is what's going on. Cool.
No, I'm pretty sure it was whatever you were doing on the computer, like you were changing
Oh no,
tabs
the
or something. And,
light's coming from over here and bouncing off here and going back to the camera.
oh yeah, I got that. I'm talking about
There's
the
a
light
little bit
from
of a
your
halo.
monitor lighting up your face.
Oh, I got you.
Like it was just flash.
Yeah.
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 Strobing.
Watching some of them hypno spirals.
There you go.
Hey, you're representing A&M over there.
What?
Your shirt,
That's
sweater.
the Longhorns.
This is Texas,
Texas Tech? No, it's A&M.
University of Texas.
UT
Burn
goes.
orange.
That's
Hook 'em horns.
that's
Burn
the
orange,
horns.
baby.
Hook 'em horns.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Hook 'em horns.
Aggies are maroon.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Forgive me.
No, it's no problem.
Hoping I'll make it through Austin this year.
Yeah. I may have to go
Well,
check
let me
with
know if
Carm
you
and see
do.
what he says about that.
So what are you doing this year as far as making some products? Because I thought you were planning on doing some of that.
Are you talking
Lisa.
to me?
Lisa, yes.
Yes, actually, I brought my I brought my microphone with me, and I've added a new library to my Vimeo, and I'm going to be adding a new library to my Vimeo, but that's under wraps for now. It won't be me on the new library.
It won't be you.
Won't be me.
Okay.
It's a surprise. It's a secret.
I can't wait to have it revealed.
It's a legend.
Nice.
Legend in the hypnosis community.
And they're letting you do all the legwork for part of the money.
Mhm.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's great.
Yeah.
So
So it's a legend. And we've approached a few people with this idea, and this is the first person that's like actually said, yeah, let's do it. So it's cool.
It amazes me sometimes how much content some people are sitting on, that if they just knew the right things to do with it, they could make money off of it.
Here's my hard drive. I'm loading videos.
Yeah.
Well, but more than that, you're doing a service to the community, because sometimes they pass away and nobody's going to pick up their.
Well, this
Yep.
person is
Mantle.
passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this person is passed away, and it's gonna be so it's their kin that are given.
That's great.
Yeah, that's good. They can let the legacy live on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be great.
So you've brought your mic. Are you planning on doing some recordings?
Mhm. The challenge here, I need to really coordinate with you how to do the other thing that you talked about, recording sentences at a time, because the proximity to the airport here, it's ridiculous. I can't guarantee that I'm gonna have
Okay, so
10 minutes.
so
Right.
every dollar you spend in soundproofing is worth $10 in microphone.
Right, but I
so-
can't soundproof out airplanes.
You can't soundproof out airplanes. I get you. As far as recording sentences, It doesn't work very well if you're doing hypnosis. You really need to at least be able to record
That's just for affirmations.
yeah, it's great. It's great for affirmations. You really need to be able to record like the whole block, like so the induction, right? You need to be able to record induction and then like a deepener. But the most important thing about that is you need to have the environment you're recording in exactly the same and make sure all your levels are set exactly the same, because that's what makes it to where you don't hear the transitions. Then there's a few editing tricks too, but yeah. And you'd be amazed what you could soundproof out also.
Yeah,
I don't
airplanes.
Yeah, but if
we
you
might not hear them, but I think the mic would still hear it.
Yeah. So a double wall with double layers of 5/8" sheetrock will deaden out a whole lot. I mean, it reduces by 70 decibels.
Yeah, this isn't my house. I can't really do that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What I can do is go up to our little 15-foot camper.
Yeah.
And it's out in the woods, and I can set up in there.
As long as you got power, how are you? Does it have like electricity coming from a line?
No.
Does it have a battery bank?
I have a power pack, a battery bank.
You have a battery bank, because the reason I'm asking is because if you've got a generator, there's no point.
Oh, that's terrible.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got to run a generator, there's no point.
No. No, but the camper it's small, but it has, furniture in it basically. So it has a little bit of deadening.
Yeah. And then just a few moving blankets will go a long way in a small environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you don't necessarily need soundproofing. Like the less sounds you have, obviously you want as little noise as possible. But the real thing that makes audio quality suffer is sound reflection whenever you're doing stuff. So hard surfaces are terrible. You got to go, Justina. All right, we'll catch you next week, hopefully. Have a great year.
Thanks, you too. See you next week.
Yep. But yeah, the biggest thing is stopping the sound reflections. Some audio can sound really great with reverb, but only if it's intentional.
That reminds me of like the 80s hypnosis recordings.
I love them, man. I love all the effects. A lot of hypnotists are like, oh, that sounds so terrible. And I'm like, yeah, well, the people who buy my shit love that. Like the people who buy hypnosis recordings, the people who listen to hypnosis recording, they like all that crap.
What are you referring to?
The heavy reverb, the God voice,
okay.
the echoes, the echoes. Like it's over mastering, right? Like it does sound like if you were doing it with music, it'd be terrible, but people like it with hypnosis. So.
I don't know. There's some that's pretty good, like Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you've heard of some of his stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, that just is like, whoa.
Has anybody here listened to Mike Mandel's Journey to the Castle?
No.
Okay. It's a really well engineered hypnosis audio. Like there's a lot of good, like he makes really great use of sound effects and Doppler shifting left and right. Like not a constant thing, but like so you hear the sound on the right because the thing is on the right.
Yeah, that's a masterpiece.
Oh, okay. Yep, I've heard some of that,
like the echo of the bird off in the distance.
Exactly.
It's coming at
right.
you.
And so he's got like there's a part where you're in a carriage going down a road and it's like a cobblestone road and that sound is there. So it becomes really immersive when you listen to it. And I've done some pieces like that.
That's what I'm thinking of. Holosync.
Oh,
Holosync.
Yeah.
What were you saying, James?
Yeah, I mean, he also does like that Inception type thing where it's like a dream within a dream within a dream. So it's very, very hypnotic.
Yeah, I've said this before. Every deep hypnosis, ultra high, amazing deep hypnosis, all of them that I've ever seen, they use triple dissociation. That's the technique they all use. You know, it's like dissociation is one of the oldest techniques in hypnosis. It's just they're just using it. They're stacking multiple dissociations, and that's how you get people deep. Or you have someone like Lisa, who's a natural Esdalian.
I think we coined a new word, Esdalian.
That is a great word.
Yeah. She's not a natural
Man.
somnambulist. She's a natural Esdalian.
Hey, Lisa, can you, I don't know if I asked you this before, but can you get into that state with self-hypnosis, or do you need a guide to get there?
I can get pretty deep with self-hypnosis. I mean, I do my own hypnosis for dental work,
Yeah.
but
That's pretty amazing.
losing that blacking out that I get where it's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that doesn't happen naturally. You know, when I am hypnotized by somebody that's good, that I trust, blah blah blah, that I have rapport with, if I actually heard the whole thing, I don't consider it a good hypnosis session.
Yeah.
I prefer the like, okay, now it's time to open your eyes. Huh? What happened? So people that like to do a lot of talking inside of hypnosis with the client and, you know, want to ask them questions, they don't like working with me because I'm not.
Yeah.
not
So I
will
had an
happily accept
Esdalian
that
the other
challenge.
day. My the Olympic shooter goes super deep. Like he wouldn't come out of a trance the first time we worked together.
Mm.
I mean, you know, I said, okay, go ahead and open your eyes, and he just kind of chilled.
No, if you're an Esdalian, you got to be counted out, and you got to be trained to be counted out. Don't ever do this just whenever you want to open your eyes to us, because screw you.
That's when they want to open their eyes.
Well, no, I
Never.
even said, okay, when I, you know, yeah, it's fine. The second
format.
time was much better. We didn't have any problems, but you're right. Yeah.
Teach him, train him to count up, because literally when I hear someone start counting up, I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to be present in the room. It's a training thing. But if you've already set up if you've already set an anchor with him that, you know, I'm going to clap my hands or whatever, then stay with that. But
Makes sense.
A count up is very useful. And I would even go to groups and I would tell the person and they would still not do it. And at some point I'd become aware that it was very quiet in the room and that all eyes were on me. And that's not a fun way to come out of hypnosis.
Well, it depends.
I guess so, but it wasn't. For
It can
that
be a
person.
really fun way to come out of hypnosis if it's the right hypnosis.
I don't go to those kind of groups.
I think I'm going to cash it in myself.
Yeah, I think we just about call it. Lisa can finish her New Year's soup.
I'm gonna have some more black-eyed peas.
I had some myself. It's good.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm not about the black-eyed peas.
Oh man.
I don't even like their music.
You know, to satisfy tradition, all it takes is one spoonful of each. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
That satisfies
But the
tradition.
thing is, you know how much I need to satisfy that tradition. I had never heard of it until I was about 26.
Oh my God. Tell me that ain't so.
I made
It's a
keto
black-eyed
biscuits
pea
the other
lobby.
day, and they were not
See,
good.
we're gonna have to deport you to Canada now. You've told me
No.
that. I have to deport you to Canada.
It's nothing patriotic, bro. Like that's not a patriotic thing. Yeah.
That's not my story.
Just
I'm
a
the one
Southern
making that story up.
It's a Southern superstition. He just
Yeah.
don't live
Yeah.
south enough. He lives up in yellow.
There you are. But
All right, y'all have a good
oh,
night.
Yep. See you next week,
Night.
James.
Yeah, Scott, I'll hit you up on. I want to talk some more Chat GPT this week.
Oh,
Yeah, no
Thank-
problem, dude. I'm doing some stuff with it this week. You bet your ass I am.
Yeah, this is
Talk to
crazy.
you soon.
like I
It's
said,
a
I'm-
lot
I'm-
easier than I thought it was going to be. Thank you very much.
no
for-
problem.
It's not hard.
I gotta play with it more. I play with it a little bit, not a lot.
But I
need
never
to
would
do
have
it
found
more.
it. I would have never known, just search and go to OpenAI. I never would have
Yeah.
gotten that far.
But all right, we'll catch everybody next week. Y'all have a great
All right.
First
Happy
week
New
of the
Year.
year.
Sounds
Yes.
good. See you.
Likewise.
Night, Sean.